Welcome back, everybody. Episode 49 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. We're sponsored by Fightback CBD. Get 20% off your CBD order at fightbackcbd.com with code JJD. What's up? New old faces?
Yeah, man. Feels good.
Welcome back to me.
Post-Rona. We made it, bro.
My name is Milton Campus, purple belt, Fight Sports Coral Springs. I brought my two nutsacks with me.
Yeah.
We'll start here on my left.
Yeah, hey, Miguel Lecarica, fighting Wagner Rocha, blue belt.
You going to fight Wagner Rocha? What was that?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Never.
Wagner will destroy him.
Yes. Agreed.
Back again.
Hiatus, little hiatus.
From his retirement?
Whoa, easy.
I don't know. People tell me you retired.
Injuries, man.
Oh, yeah, you got hurt.
So introduce yourself.
Sabbatical.
My name is Junior Vega, Jiu-Jitsu black belt on the Felipe and Sofia Morante.
And are you, so...
Not retired, man. I'm just hurt.
Yeah.
Got bad shoulders. Really can't do too much. So, yeah, I had to take a little bit of time off. You never had injuries. You probably never did jiu-jitsu.
Put some Windex on that. I was going to say something else. Put some Windex on it. Spray it right up.
Rub some dirt. Just rub some dirt in them, right?
Mm-hmm. And joining us today.
PRP. So my name.
Well, I'm going to introduce you.
Okay,
there it is. Brown belt.
Yes.
Owner of Carlson Gracie, Broward County.
Yes.
Jean-Blanchard, Mongeois.
There it is.
Did I say it right?
Yes,
yeah, you did.
AKA Big J.
Yes.
What's
Big
up, brother?
J.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you for doing it, man. We appreciate it. I didn't realize you were coming from so far.
Yes.
You know, if you hear,
Horse
Carlson Gracie, Broward County, I thought you were Broward County.
Well, that was until my wife decided to change zip code.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
So, happy wife, happy life.
The boss, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, my daughter's the boss.
How about a shout out to your wife? Shout out to your wife and daughter.
So shout out to Jen and Annalise.
Yes.
Like my daughter's the boss. She just turned 4, and I'm trying to figure out if she's 4 or 40.
Wow.
She's got that attitude, huh?
Man, the questions that I get. So funny story. So today, she wanted dogs and she wanted to go to Disney.
Dogs.
So
Multiple.
I brought her 2 Dutch Shepherds. I have a very close friend of mine. He breed dogs. And guard dogs. And Dutch Shepherds are very good dogs. You should know that, Professor. So I got her dogs, and today I was cleaning her dogs, and I had a piece of paper. I'm like, yo, Anna, can you throw this in the garbage for me? Do I look like the garbage can?
4 years old. 4 years old.
4. So I'm
in trouble,
still trying to figure out if she's 4 or 40.
You are in trouble, my friend.
5 kids?
I got 4 boys and 1 girl, yes.
Oof.
The youngest one is actually 9 months. That's Prince. That's our rainbow baby. That's Prince. My wife had a miscarriage the same year I left Fight Sports. She had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
And Prince is the rainbow baby. He's the baby that came after. So he's the one that was like, guess what? I'm here.
All right.
So I'm going to bring a smile.
When the heck do you have time for jiu-jitsu?
Man.
Because you run a business.
If I start telling you about my businesses, then you're going to be like.
Multiple.
Yeah.
That's multiple businesses.
Yeah, multiple businesses, yeah.
So so obviously you own Carlson Gracie, Broward County. What else do you do?
I own Carlson Gracie, Broward County. I own a trucking company. Been in trucking for over a decade. I have some real estate as well. I do real estate investment and some trading and other things that we have in the making as well.
Okay.
It's good.
Man, you got a full day.
Yeah.
On the move.
I thought I had it bad. When I take my nap at 5, I'm tired from my day job, and I go take a nap at 5:30.
Yeah, man, you should have an Anna. Like, she FaceTimed me in the middle of the day. It's like, are you cheating on me? What are you doing? Like, she's like, you at work? It's 6 o'clock. It's 6 p.m. It's dark outside.
So
Already checking.
Should introduce her to my wife.
Man, I'm telling you. Like, this little girl.
All right, listen, let me give some of our other sponsors a shout out. DD214 Fightwear, at DD214_Fightwear. Gear for the war on PTSD. You gotta love that.
Yeah. Rocking some of that gear right now.
Right? Get 15% off your online order at DD214BJJ.com. You can check out their new Soul Armor gi, which is always, we put the link in the bio. The liner for the gi, it's composed of the name of fallen soldiers. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Just has all their names just printed in the liner. It's really nice.
Oof.
It's very cool.
That's heavy, man.
Yeah. Warriors Next Adventure. They're a veteran nonprofit that film that they went around the United
they were at
States.
Drew's gym.
48 days he spent on the road. His bus broke down a couple of times, more than a couple of times. But they're filming a documentary called PTSD versus Jiu-Jitsu. They just finished filming probably a couple weeks ago. Check them out at warriorsnextadventure.com and click the PTSD versus Jiu-Jitsu tab at the top of the page, and you can learn a little bit more about the coming documentary and how to donate. So definitely support. Huge shout out to Flow and Roll, our boy Sean, at flow_n_roll on Instagram. Get 20% off your online t-shirt, rash guard, or gi order with code JJD. All right, it's flowandroll.com. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share wherever you're watching. Click the bell
Yeah.
so you get the reminders on YouTube.
Oh, that's right. I know the bell.
Okay, the bell.
So what's the cow for?
Whatever
Oh,
you
I got
want.
a whole
man.
bunch. Yeah, just
Oh, because I'm like, why they put it in front of me?
Just ran.
I'm
It's
trying to
just-
figure out if I should do something.
there's a box
with
of
it.
4 of them. I just took one out. Just
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
All right, let's get into it. Thank you, sponsors.
Maybe like move it along. You know, like if we get stuck on a subject we don't want to talk about.
Well, there it is.
Improvisation. Improvisation.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
Don't
Move
worry.
it along. So let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning of your jiu-jitsu journey, or even your I don't know if you did any other martial arts. Tell us how you got your start.
So funny thing. So I grew up in the island. I came here when I was 17, but I always wanted to do martial art, and my parents were afraid that I'll get hurt. And there's a guy that used to teach karate in the back of the house. He taught karate and he taught taekwondo, but I liked taekwondo. And I used to be on top of the house and watching him, and he's training down there, and I'm doing the moves up there. And then one day he called me. He like, man, come back here. So I went down there. He's like, why don't you train with us? I'm like, he's like, is it the money? You don't need that. And I'm like, nah, it's not that. My parents don't want me to train because if I train, I'm gonna get hurt. And he said something to me, and that kind of stuck with me because I actually had to say that to a parent recently. He said, if you get hurt physically, you're gonna heal faster than if you get hurt emotionally. Mm-hmm. So though your parents don't want you to do karate or taekwondo because they don't want you to get hurt physically, which heals faster, you know, but if somebody bully you and they break you, that will take years of therapy. And he said that to me, and that stuck. So I trained with him. I even went to Dominican Republic and competed with him. Actually, like, I blew my left knee, you know, doing that. But yeah, that was my first encounter with
what age was that again?
I was 12.
12.
I was 12 years
Nice.
old. And my parents had no idea. It wasn't until I got injured. That's when they knew I was doing the martial art.
Get the.
They didn't want you to do it because you didn't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
But you know,
don't get hurt.
But you know, it built a certain confidence in me. What a lot of people don't understand, and Professor just mentioned that, is that when it comes to martial art, like, you look at your sensei like your mentor. That's where mentorship starts. Like, you have Boy Scout, you know, you have martial art, you know. When you're looking at all those movies like Karate Kid, those Shaolin movies, you know, like, the master is the one that instill all these, like, virtue in a student. But it's not just teaching them the art, you know,
Life skills.
The lifestyle too. Yeah.
So so that's when it started for me. I came here at the age of 17. I wrestled a little bit for just like 1 year, and then after that, life just hit. You know, it's just the life of an immigrant in America. Life just hit. I had to work. You know, work. Started early, wife, family, and first marriage didn't really work out. Then by the time I got with my wife now, I was about 300 pounds. Like, I was heavy. That's the heaviest I ever got. I was like, you can do that. No, I was literally like, I have pictures even on my social media, like when I started jiu-jitsu, and, you know, when I got to blue belt. That's why I always tell people, like, blue belt is the sweet spot if you join jiu-jitsu to lose weight. But I didn't even go for jiu-jitsu. I went to the UFC gym. You know, I used to watch a lot of UFC fights. I went to UFC gym. I'm like, you know what? I can get some good kickboxing. You know, that'll be great cardio. When I was in college, I did a little bit of boxing. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get some kickboxing. And I have Coach Brennan. He's actually a black belt under Nova Gelação, and he just started something for law enforcement, I think.
Does jiu-jitsu with law enforcement up in Jacksonville.
Yes. You know, like great guy. But he kept forcing me to do jiu-jitsu while I'm boxing. And I was boxing with Coach Jason at the moment. And I'm like, yo, like, what's up with this guy? Like, I see what they're doing. I don't want no one on top of me. I don't want no one grabbing me. You know, like, and then I was like, you know what? It's just wrestling. It's just wrestling with a gi. And he was adamant about it, like, for like 3 days straight. Just to be polite, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to do that. And I went, and I did my first class. And this kid named, we call him Pescado. You know Pescado. Yeah. We call him Pescado.
Fish?
Little dude.
And little dude, man. Like, little short dude. Mind you, I'm in my 30s.
Is he because he's hard to hold like a fish? That's why his name is Fish?
You know what?
Smell?
Professor Toko gave him that name. Yeah. I don't know why he gave him that name, honestly.
Fish, right?
Yeah, that's what Pescado means. So, maybe he looked like a shark. Yeah, I don't know. You've seen him.
Like small and slippery.
Yeah. You know? So I don't listen. When I came, he already had the name, you know? So, and I was in my 30s. I was probably like 37, 36. And this kid was maybe 20, 21. And he ran numbers on me. I mean, you name it, like armbar, Kimura. I mean, I'm like, I have this strength that I'm bringing to him, and he sits there and he takes it. And he was like a blue belt. He sits there, he takes it. I'm like, I'm giving it to him, he's taking it. And then once I get tired, like,
game over.
You know?
Story of my life.
And I'm like, at first, I'm like, man, this thing wasn't for me. Then I'm like, nah, this is embarrassing. Like, my wife support everything I do. And she used to be like, can we come watch you train? I'm like, absolutely not. Nope. No, you will not. You know, because I was getting my butt handed to me. You know?
So you stop hitting the mic already?
It was a cable. That was
I hear it every time you pick it up. Go ahead.
So not a problem. So I was getting my butt handed to me, you know? And that was my dedication. I joined the UFC gym to lose weight. And then I went to jiu-jitsu because Coach Brennan kept inviting me. So I really try to be polite. Now, this little kid is handling my butt. I'm like, nah, number one, I'm going to beat you. I don't care how long it's going to take, what it's going to take.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I'm going to beat you. You know, it's going to happen. And I kept going. I kept training. And then fast forward, we transitioned from that school to Master Toko ended up opening his school, started training there, and I started competing more. You know, and I fell in love with it. I got my blue belt. I think I was training for like 2 months. After 2 months, I did my first competition. And Master Toko gave me my blue belt at the podium. I was like, wow, I was stoked. Like, I'm going to do more of these. Yeah. You know? So started competing more and then started training under Cyborg. It's like, it's not often you're in a sport or anything, and then you have the opportunity to train under one of the best in the world, you know? Mm-hmm. It's like, man, I'm training with Cyborg, you know? So funny thing, I went to, did we pass the 5 minutes yet? So I went to, I went to Chicago. And I went to a tournament. I went to Chicago.
6 minutes, 7 minutes. You let it rip.
So I went to Chicago and I went to a tournament. And this guy, I keep looking for the Chicago Open because I'm gonna handle him his ass. Like, and then he held me down. You know, big guys, that's what they do. But me, like, I mean, I play guard. You know, I'll take you down, I'll do different things. But this guy, I did some stupid stuff, and then when I showed it to Cyborg, he was like, "Yo, Jay, what the fuck is this?" It's like, where you learn this shit from?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't know. I was just winging it. And he was like, we're gonna train. And started training, and I didn't lose not one fight.
For how
My
long? How many
first-
fights did you lose? I mean, how many fights did you win before you lost one?
I still haven't. Well, this year I did Naga, either Naga or New Breed, and I went against this guy, this MMA guy, and I'm looking forward to a rematch. I went out of gas. My first time doing New Breed, I didn't know it was 7 minutes. So 5 minutes, I'm like working this guy. This guy is running from me. Like, I have the video. I'm going to post it. This guy is running from me. And then I get caught within 6 minutes and something, and I ran out of gas. There's no excuse. I mean, he's a wrestler. He's really good. He's great. I'm not going to take that from him. But he ain't better than me. I just ran out of gas. Mm-hmm. You know? And for the Miami Open, I did the same thing. I signed up for it. Professor Buyu actually called him, and I'm like, man, I missed it. And he's like, I'm going to take care of it. You know, he signed me up. And then my dad ended up getting healed. My dad got sick. He had open heart surgery, and I wasn't training at all. I mean, I was just in survival mode. Like, that's my hero, you know? He was sick, and started taking care of him. And Saturday morning, I woke up, like a couple of months later. Saturday morning, I woke up, and I told my wife, I'm going to go compete. And then she's like, but you haven't trained in like over 2 months. Well, I'm just going to wing it, you know? So that's the same thing I did at New Breed, and I went out of gas. But the guy was a great fighter. I mean, he's real good. He got very good grappling.
So hold up, wait, before you go too far. Pescado.
Yeah,
Did you get
Pescado.
him or what?
Did I get him? Listen, like, he got tired of me. He got tired. You know, it's one thing about jiu-jitsu is the fact it's people don't understand. It's not about just something that you're born with. Like, listen, there's no way I could have known if I was born with something for jiu-jitsu because I have no idea what jiu-jitsu was. Mm-hmm. You know? To me, as a marketer, I think a lot of people make mistakes on how they market jiu-jitsu to older folks. They're thinking, like, you want to be a world champion. I didn't know what a world champion was until Cyborg told me, yo, you're going to be a world champ. I said yes. Like, when you have a mentor, that's what it is. Like, I didn't even know what it was. I mean, I know what a world champion is because I watch FIFA, you know, I watch UFC, but I didn't know what a world champion was in jiu-jitsu. But he said it. He's one. I said, okay, we're going to do it. You know, I didn't know what it was. So, Pescado, Pescado got tired of rolling with me. That's all I can say. He got tired. I mean, he'll tell you. I mean, he's a good kid. He's really good. But you cannot quit. You can't stop. It's not about, so to market it to like older gentlemen, like people like our age, let them know. It's not about, like, not everybody's trying to do that. Like, some of us, we grew up with the whole martial art mentality, you know, daredevil stuff. And jiu-jitsu, you can do that. I can put you in a submission, and if you don't tap, I'm gonna break your shit.
Yeah.
If I'm strangling you, if you don't tap, you're gonna go to sleep. Think about it. We done that to our little brothers growing up. We got in trouble for that, but now we're doing it, and they're patting us on the back.
Now we're paying for it.
But okay, but
And I used to
also,
do that to my sisters, by the way.
so now you're doing it, you're getting patted on the back. So I think one of the ways to actually market jiu-jitsu is that, guess what? It's okay, like your son is doing taekwondo, but you can do this, and you can legit go to competition and get pumped up. So I fell in love with competing, but yeah, when he came to Pescado, he stopped. He stopped training.
Oh, really?
No.
He stopped training
Was he
for
a blue
while.
belt?
So he's still a blue belt.
Blue belt curse. Got
Blue
him.
belt curse. Got
He's
him.
still a blue belt. It's like from when we left the UFC, he started training the kids with Master Toko, and then I don't know what happened, and then he left, and he never came back. When we started training at my warehouse, he showed up a couple of times, spanked that ass, you know? But he's one of those kids, he was so good. If he would have continued with it, like
Be a monster.
Mikey Musumesi don't have nothing on him. Like, the kid was like,
That's a bold statement.
man,
bold statement
listen,
right there.
the kid
Pescado,
used to be like this. Like, he used to be on it. When I met him at the UFC gym, like, it's like a blue belt. I think that's the belt where, you know, like when you're growing up, when you get to the age where you're gonna become a man. I think at blue belt, that's where it's gonna be like, okay, are you gonna do jiu-jitsu or are you gonna do jiu-jitsu?
It's the bridge, huh?
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
No, it's the curse. It's the blue belt curse.
That's a long bridge to cross. I hear the blue
You have
belt
to stick
bridge.
it up. You have to stick it out.
Yeah, I tell people all the
Stick it
time,
out.
Battle of attrition.
you either, there's no in between with jiu-jitsu. You either love it or you hate it. You either know when you start, you're gonna like, I don't see my life without this.
Yeah.
I think every one of us is
When
there.
I hate it, it's because I love it so much.
But you have people that are, I mean, life can get in the way. I get that. But as far as like when you go, you're like, oh yeah,
No, you're an experienced. You're an experienced
yeah.
training dummy.
Yeah.
Right? You're getting beat a lot of the
Yeah.
time. 80, 90%
Getting
of the time.
cranked on.
As a blue belt.
you know who fell in love with jiu-jitsu when I started? My wife fell in love with jiu-jitsu when I
Really?
started. She said, you're less angry.
Oh, does she train at all?
She boxes. She
box-
boxes
okay.
with Coach Carlos. She boxes. And she used to box with Coach Kevin. She boxes. But she fell in love with it because, like, she said, I'm less angry. Like, I'm like, it's like,
You get it out.
like
You get-
all my
getting it out in the
frustration
gym.
with employees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She's like, yo, like, you're a different guy. You know? So
I told my wife the other night. I tell her all the time, but I told her the other night that we talked about this on the last podcast. That if you want to argue with me, wait till I come home from jiu-jitsu. If you got a
Yeah.
problem, look, wait till I get home from jiu-jitsu because I'm
because you're not gonna get
okay.
nothing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Whatever you want to buy.
Yeah.
If you want a jet, listen. Wait until after jiu-jitsu.
There's that.
Yeah.
There's that
Yeah.
hour or two right after
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
it's
where
therapy. Cyborg say that all the time. It's therapy. It gets you in that mood where it's like, yo, like you feel like you worked out some stuff.
Yeah.
Even if you get submitted 100 times,
Then you,
unless your ego is too big,
No.
you're gonna feel like you released something.
Of course,
You
yeah.
worked out some stuff.
you even drive home in silence. You don't turn on after those days. You don't even turn on the radio.
And
You're
you
just
realize-
looking at. You're just looking.
Man.
Out the windshield.
You're halfway home. You'd be like,
I
I
know.
don't even have the radio. I don't even have the radio.
Absolutely.
I usually slap my steering wheel
And,
and say,
it also
"Fuck."
builds confidence too. You know, it also builds confidence for you to see that certain things that you're doing at this age.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like it's like, yo,
when you run into somebody your age.
How old are you?
40.
40.
Yeah.
I just turned 40 in
You
February.
look great, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe still. You're very young. You're very
But what
young.
I'm saying is, like, I've met some 40-year-old. I've met people now that are younger than me, and when I have to hold back emotions, where I'm just like, it's been a rough road, bro. Like for you, you know, like I'm saying, like 37.
Rode
Like
hard.
I've seen
They
some
got
people.
rode hard.
Yeah, I've seen some people that look
I mean,
beat up. At
you know what?
37.
I think it's how you face it.
Yeah.
I was just talking to one of my business partners, and I was breaking down what I went through here. Like almost every job that you know that an immigrant can do, I've had it. People see the J now, the nice car,
Yeah.
the nice family, the big house, but there's the J that slept in his car at one point.
Yeah.
There's the J that used to pick oranges. There's the J that did landscaping. There's the J that used to work
For sure.
in a warehouse as a mechanic in a factory. Like, you know, so there's different shades to the person that's here now. But did I allow it to own me? Absolutely not.
Yeah. That was a stepping stone.
Yeah. So man, listen, I have stories. You know, I've been through a few. But going back to jiu-jitsu, you know, I feel like jiu-jitsu is limited as far as the reach. And I think if we can get it further, we'll make so much difference. There's a saying I keep reading on IG. You cannot fix broken men. Yet, I'm going to tell my truth, you know. There's a lot of things that needed to get worked in me that I worked through jiu-jitsu. You know, so think about if we can reach out to the kids. So that's why our school, we didn't have to put in North Lauderdale. We choose to be in that community. So we're not going after 200 a month, 250 a month. We're going after the single mother that can barely pay, because we know at the end of the day, jiu-jitsu don't pay my bills. That school is a gift to the community. Jiu-jitsu don't pay my bills.
Tell us where your school is located.
It's in North Lauderdale. It's in Florida.
Nice.
Go ahead and give the full address because there's a lot of people.
You guys gonna have to look it up because if I tell you, I know how to get there. I get there all the time.
Dude, that is an awesome response. I can relate to that.
We'll make sure we put
just Google Carlson Gracie, Broward County.
There you go. Okay.
Bam.
You know,
But that's why you got.
all it is.
That's why you have some of your kids train jiu-jitsu as well, right?
Yeah. So, my dad worked very hard, but we never bonded. You know, with jiu-jitsu is something where I can bond with my kids, but I like the teaching, right? I like the teaching. And being able to have my own school, certain things I know they're not going to get exposed to. And I like that. Like my daughter, my wife have a video on IG. She's 3 and she's leading warm-up. Like she's like, let's go. Like inside. Outside, like
natural born leader, man.
Like for me to sit there and watch that and be like, you know what? Everything you do in life, there's certain things that will taint it. But to be able to put her in an environment without nothing being able to taint that and watch her grow in it, that by itself to me, that pays me. You know, like the school people that are in jiu-jitsu, they know. Like especially the school is so fresh. We actually started same year as COVID. You know, the grand opening was the day that they shut down the state.
From what you've said up to now, this is right up your alley.
Yes, listen.
Adversity.
So I'm doing everything, right? I'm doing everything, and I'm like, yo, how come there's no obstacle? Like even when I was purchasing my house,
yeah,
I told my realtor the same thing. Every time he called me, listen, it took us almost 3 months to close. Every time he called me, I'm calm. And then he's like, yo, Gene, I don't understand. I'm like, what happened? He said, why are you so calm? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, most clients will be on our phone, like on our ass right now, like cussing us out and everything. You already put your escrow as a deposit, and then this thing is going on 90 days, and you just calm. I'm like, but I was expecting it. That's my life.
Yeah.
If everything would have went smooth with no headache,
you'd question.
Then I'll be like, nah, something is wrong.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong with the universe.
So same thing. When you look at my career in jiu-jitsu, I'm like, everything I've been through,
yeah.
Like when it hit me, it's like I didn't want it that way, but it's like if it didn't happen, it's like, nah, something's wrong.
But you really appreciate everything you have because of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a different. There's
adversity.
a
difference. That adversity creates a different person.
There's a big difference between getting given something, because we've all been given stuff. Everybody's been given something, and you value it based A, upon the person, but B, like what you did to get that, even though they just gave it to you. You know?
Just described every relationship that I've ever been in, though.
Yeah.
Waiting for the other shoe to drop. Yeah.
You already made a down payment.
Yeah, you got to wait.
What's going
It's like you already know it's a bait and switch.
About to happen.
Yeah.
What's
So,
going
but you know
on?
what's funny? I've had that in relationships, but my wife, I'm still looking. I'm like,
Oh, that's the thing that's going right.
No, but you got to understand. Like when I met my wife, I already had like 3 kids. Like she was a young professional. She had her own money, her own house. She had everything, and it's like, yo, why this lady so nice? I got like 3 kids. What do you want, lady? Like, is that you? And I keep looking for a bit and switch. It's like nothing. We got married. I'm like, so she's gonna change now. Nothing. We got my daughter. I'm like, now you got a kid. You're going to change. Nothing. So, there's some exceptions.
You made a good choice. You made a good choice.
I see him at 70 years old being like, I know it's coming. It's coming.
You still not going to do that thing?
I know. I got my eye
I know. You still not going to do that thing?
Yeah.
I hope it
So,
sounds
so
like
how did COVID affect that opening?
So
what happened?
we had to shut down. Everybody shut down. We had to shut down. So we
Did you hold on? Did you shut down?
No,
The week, or did you shut down?
No, I had to shut down because that was before we even had inspection. So we couldn't have it.
You didn't have CO on your building, so yeah.
So we had to shut down.
Got
so
governmentally
we shut
shut
down.
down.
But we had a few people that were training with us at the warehouse, and we were just in the WhatsApp group, just talking smack, interacting, and then when they semi-open, and then we open, and then we started training. And Roberto helped a lot, by the way, because like he had us so much media
Roberto Santiago, by the way, right?
Yeah. I met him at Nova Gelason. And then at one point, he started training in the warehouse with us. And now he trains like Carlson Gracie with us. Great guy. I mean, so we just kept like advertising. And then when we opened, I mean, it wasn't a flood, but at least we had enough to keep the doors open and keep the gym running, which is really all we're really about.
In the black.
Shout out to Roberto, who was on my ass about having you on. in such a good way.
Does that sound like Roberto? Does that sound like Roberto?
Definitely sound like Roberto.
He always circles back.
I do. I do mean it in the best way though, because I've had a lot of people make suggestions on people, for interviews and people to come on, and I did tell him I wanted to wait till we were doing it in house because you were local. I'm like, why am I going to do a Zoom? He's local. Let me wait.
Yeah.
Who knew it was going to be a year?
I mean, he's a great guy, and this is one of the people. This is one of the things about jiu-jitsu I hope will change. If you have someone that's a senior citizen or a veteran that's training with you, you need to cherish that. Not because the government gives you tax breaks, which they do. Most people, they just don't know about it. That's why they don't get it. They don't apply for it. You can even get grants. If you have veterans training with you, I mean, you're helping the government. But again, they don't know. So, so if you have, not because of that, but you are dealing with someone that have years of experience in a country where you're trying to come up. Like, regardless of what I've learned in Haiti or grew up in Haiti, granted, I've been here since I was 17, but this guy was born and raised here, So some of the older gentlemen, I think jiu-jitsu should
embrace them more for their knowledge.
Embrace them. Because they don't, especially for veterans, they don't give your life for you to be able to live this dream. So the least you can do, be a human being. Because I have a couple of veterans that I've trained with at Nova Gelason, and I have Roberto as an older gentleman. I didn't like the way they left, the way they were treated. Jiu-jitsu shouldn't be that.
Shout out to We Defy Foundation, by the way. Got that little thing up here.
They're doing that.
Yeah, we work with We Defy Foundation. We're ambassadors. Junior and I are both officially ambassadors, but we say the show is an ambassador, and they help combat wounded veterans.
And a veteran, Junior.
Combat wounded veterans through jiu-jitsu. They help them find jiu-jitsu. Yes. So I agree. We definitely agree. But again, I just want to make sure I say he kept on asking me, but in such a good way, because I wanted to. COVID happened. I thought it was going to be a couple of months. It turned into all this time. And then we were here, and then it was, I wanted to wait for Junior. Then Junior retired from jiu-jitsu.
That guy.
His shoulder took him out.
Even Roberto told me, he's like, well, now that Junior's not training.
His shoulder took him out.
I said, listen, I wanted to wait for Junior because I knew Junior knew you. I figured, look, there's, an element of, you guys are friends. Let's have you on. And then I knew Drew knew Zizinho. Your head coach, correct?
Yeah, Drew trained with us. I was training for this fight with this guy from Fight Sport, tall. I believe he was a Jamaican guy, and Professor Zinzinho had Drew and a few of his students come over, and then put me to a couple of shark tanks to get me ready for the fight, and then the guy pull out. And that's when I met Drew. And then we connected, trained with him a little bit. Great guy. I love his vision, what he's doing.
Yeah. Remember I said I've only gone to train at another gym.
Okay.
Since I've been in Fight Sports.
Oh, so that's not
my first gym. We used to do we used to go with our coach, and we used to go to this gym, and they'd come to us. We'd go to them every other Saturday. So that was my experience with going to other gyms. Was just that one gym. Okay. And then when I went to Fight Sports, I've never trained at another gym. Never. And then we did this documentary. We had somebody coming in doing their own documentary. Warriors Next Adventure, one of our sponsors. Okay. They came to do a documentary. The AC went at Fight Sports. Coach said, "Hey, maybe we can find another place for them to do it." I said, Drew, he's a host on the show once in a while, a co-host, and so I went there to train both days that weekend while they filmed, and then I went back the next weekend. So it's the first time I've ever trained at another school. So that's the school that I'm mentioning. Okay. And I met him at my first school. Him and my coach were friends.
Okay.
And it was just, he's a great guy.
Yeah,
I
he's a
love
great
training
guy.
there, man.
No,
And that's
he's a great
something.
guy. He's an awesome
Yeah, that's something
guy.
that I did. I was training with Felipe and Sofia, Coral Springs, and I wanted to support Master Toko when he opened up his Davy school, and that's where we met.
Yeah, that's where we met. Like,
So I met quite a few people out of that
my
school.
butt.
I kicked his butt. I kicked his butt. Until,
I was like, this little short guy, there's no way. Mind you, I mean, I'm a blue belt now. It's like my ball drops. I'm like, man, this little guy, I'm like, there's no way. And then, man.
Listen, 5'2" isn't that short.
We had a couple good fights over there.
Man,
But then once Jay got that experience,
Listen,
then I
like,
became
he
the pescado of your fucking world, man.
Pescado.
Fuck this guy. You lucky, bro. I'll tell you, you got lucky. You're lucky. You got like 5 pounds on me, bro. Because
I think I got more than 5. Don't be modest. Don't be modest. I think I got more than 5. But you know, this is the thing about jiu-jitsu. You meet great people.
Yes.
You meet people that listen. What I do, there's no way I would have met like Professor. Like there's no way. But it's that kind of connection that take you to the next level, to the next step. Like I met Zenzinho. When I met Zenzinho, he came to Master Toko's as well while I was training there. But what attracted me about him, he gave me my brown belt, by the way. He gave my brown belt in the warehouse when we went under Carlson Gracie. And what attracted me like to him, like as an individual, he used to send me videos where he's doing certain move he want me to drill before my fights. And I will sit there and do them with my oldest son, and I'll go compete and I'll pull them. And he'll text me the next day, I was watching you on Flow, you did my move, we're rooting for you. But I've never given the guy $1. I've never given him $1.
Why should you? I mean,
But listen, what I'm trying to say is that
I know what you
have
mean.
those people you're training with that you're paying, they're not really investing as much. I mean, they invest, but not as much. Like even when when I started training in the warehouse, I got to one point where I was like, you know what? Like, bump jiu-jitsu, I'm out of it. If this is what I got to deal with, I'm not with it. And he's one that was like, listen, this is not jiu-jitsu. He got his black belt from Libroyo. He trained with Ricardo Libroyo from white to black. And he was like, BJ, that's not jiu-jitsu. Don't quit jiu-jitsu. And then he's the one that actually got me to train again. We were in the warehouse. Like, no AC. You came to the warehouse.
I train over there.
No AC. We in the warehouse. Me and Coach Kevin rented the warehouse. He had a boxing program. And then I met Coach Kevin at another gym. He was renting spots.
yeah.
And then I was like, bro, we should open a gym. Like, with your skills, you can't be renting spots. You got to run your own thing. And then we started with the first warehouse. Then his program grew. Got a second warehouse, what was bigger, which is the one you came in. And then that's when Professor was like, yo, don't quit. I'll train you. And I'll talk to Manny Suarez, and we try to open a school.
Yeah.
So I started training with him, and the guy never charged me until now. Like, he'll call me, yo, you want to do a private? And then we'll drill, we'll roll, and I'm like, how much? He's like, yo, we're good. But I'm like, yeah, but it's a private. Like, how is it private?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a great guy.
But he believed in your jiu-jitsu.
Nah.
And
he's a
maybe
great
you're
guy.
doing something good for jiu-jitsu. Maybe that was like how you just started that school, and you're saying you're just doing it to keep the doors open. This thing is to give back to the community.
Pretty much.
He could have been giving back to you, and one single dollar could have changed that relationship.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Probably.
maybe he was giving back too.
No, he's a
and
great
that's a
guy.
great way to do it, because I mean, I was at a competition this morning. I maybe knew 3 people there. Peripherally, I know a lot of them because like nobody stops posting on IG, and I follow everything fight sports. So I did this to myself, and it's like I see a good fight. I don't care what they're wearing, bro. Like they're both going in there to bang, and when it's an awesome fight, I saw some really technically sound white belts doing technically sound white belt shit, and it was a good match. It was a good match if you in context. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Makes sense.
And I didn't know any of those guys, but I just like when they were both done, I just felt like, man, that was awesome. I got something out of it.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't know. I don't like the like that, like how you were saying. It's just, to me, it's a subscription, because like I met you and you always talked about like cross training and stuff like that. And I started doing that, but I asked and
Yeah, there's a certain
way to do it.
etiquette
Yeah.
that goes with that, and we've spoken about this.
Yeah,
and I
it's
think
nice.
we've spoken about it on other episodes. So.
but I think that was really nice that somebody saw something.
Yeah,
and just
but
invested
even
time.
now, even now after my last competition, I hurt my knee because I think I was like 15 points, and the other guy was like 0. It's a guy from the blue basement, and
small lead.
and then he put me in a knee bar. So I'm standing there, I'm holding his arm, and I'm looking at him, and it's like maybe 20 seconds left. In my head, I'm like, yo, you're gonna break that. I ain't tapping. I do some private with Bebe, not a lot, but when I was competing that day, I pull up like a Ronin, one of your favorite words. I think you have it tatted on you. So I pulled up by myself, no professor. I just pulled up, and Bebe was in my corner. So that's one of the things that I like about that you get from jiu-jitsu. Granted, I don't train on the fight sport anymore, but me and him, we still have a relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have no issue with Cyborg. He can say I did anything to him. Mm-hmm. Or I can say he did anything to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was there. That's someone I used to train with. And every now and then we still train. And he coached both of my fights. When I got in the knee bar, the way I was holding the guy, I looked over, and then both him and Nick, they were like, keep it there. Like, hold it.
So let's go back. You said you still train once in a while with Cyborg, you're saying?
No, Baby.
Baby.
Okay. So.
Yeah, once in a while, like, I'll train with Baby. Like,
Blue Moon type of thing.
pretty much.
So here's a question, right? Based off the stuff that you've been talking about, and
Yes.
also from somebody that we both know from Nova Geração, Josh. Right?
I love
So
Josh.
Josh asked this question, and again, it's in line with what you're saying right now. The question is, how much personal philosophy, life perspective should a coach share with students? To what extent should coaching be limited to just the sport itself?
So it's a great question. As a brown belt, that kind of like got my different level so fast. I'm not going to tarnish it by giving you my perspective, but I'll give you the perspective of someone that I used to follow, someone that used to train me, right? Cyborg is always sharing something that you can relate to. I think when you remove the personal is when you feel like the personal is going to hinder the relationship between the coach and the student. Because at the end of the day, the student is a customer. And I tell people, jiu-jitsu is the business of, you're in the service business. You're in the service business. Your students, granted you call them students, but they are your customers. They are number one customers. No students, your school can be as beautiful, as big as it is. You can put it on the moon. With no students, you don't have a school. Mm-hmm. Your door's not going to stay open. So once certain things that you will share is crossing over to hinder that relationship, that's when, you need to draw the line. But as far as the mentorship portion, it has to feel personal. But I think some of us, maybe even some professors, they allow it to be too personal. And then in the midst of it, when they hear student, they forget it's a grown-ass man. It's a 35-year-old man with a whole bunch of kids. He's at his own life.
A significant percentage of their income is going towards this training.
So
it's like if they make $6K, they make $6K a month.
The money is
10%.
one thing. The money is one thing, but it's the respect aspect. I've known Professor for the longest. He cannot tell you once I've ever said any disrespectful thing to him. Only one person.
Oh, I have. I do all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
I mean, listen.
It's in his blood.
I tease him. I tease him. I'll tease
Guilty.
you. Like, if you train with me, you're going to fall in love because I'm going to tease you a lot. Even if you, listen, Baby lazy than me every time we train. Even if I hit him with one takedown, listen, he's not going to outlive that takedown. Because he can murder me. Do that take you down? You don't have nothing to say. Matter of fact, I'm not training anymore. I win.
I'm taking my ball.
Listen, he could have tapped me 20 times before, but I take you down, like it's done, right? So, I tease people, right? I tease people. But the respect aspect is I'm very big. I don't care if you're the janitor. Like, I'm very big. There's no one in the jiu-jitsu community that can say Big J disrespecting me. Absolutely no one.
Yeah, no, that's a big part of sport.
like-
The humbleness, it's checking your ego. Check your ego out the door.
Yep.
I love the way, like, I never did jiu-jitsu because I was looking for a mentor. I started when I was 41. I wasn't. I'm seven. This is June is 7 years.
Man, I keep thinking I'm the oldest one in the room, and you just sitting there not saying nothing.
Yeah.
You
No, I
talk
was
about
waiting.
my grave there.
I was waiting.
Wow.
Yeah, I was waiting before.
Snake in the grass.
Wow.
Oh, wait. How old are you, Bill?
53.
No, I knew you were out of the picture.
Damn.
Didn't count.
Damn.
I still love you, Bill.
You guys haven't even rolled. You haven't even rolled
I
once.
still love you, Bill.
He still loves you, Bill. He's calling you Bill. Bo. That's how
Bo.
much you love him.
Oh, Bo. Okay.
Damn.
I thought you said Bill.
No. June is actually June is 7 years that I've been doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 48 in a couple of months.
Hell
a couple,
yeah.
a couple of weeks, excuse me. A couple of days.
Weeks.
Shit.
You seasoned.
The 30th.
You seasoned in this thing.
He's got.
I never went to jiu-jitsu looking for a mentor. But if I had kids that I was going to put in jiu-jitsu, I would be looking for that.
He's the grown ass man you're talking about.
I know.
I was going for the self-defense. I was going because I was a UFC fan. I was going because I love hitting the bag.
Similarities.
I went to jiu-jitsu. There was a different reason for me as a grown man.
Yeah.
If I had kids, I love, I only know the experiences that I've had in the gyms that I've been in.
Yeah.
I'll leave out like seeing stuff on social media and seeing people talk to their students. Like Felipe, he'll talk to the kids almost after every class. He'll do like, okay, everybody sit down, line up.
He's so good.
Fix your gi, fix your belt, sit down. Line up, sit down. And then he'll do a speech. And a lot of times, I've spoken to him after some of those conversations where he's having a very specific conversation with them about maybe something that happened in class, or maybe a parent is having a problem with one of the kids, with one of their own kids, and they've mentioned it to him, but he'll address it as a class because not only is he addressing it with that child, but these other kids can benefit
All
from
the
it as well,
children,
right?
yeah. Mhm.
But he does it in a way that doesn't single that kid out, right? So I love that part of it for the kids, but I never sought that out for me. It was always like, again, 48, I have to remind myself sometimes that I'm older than my coach.
But I agree with you 100%. But since my wife and I, we do a lot of mentorship, right? And one of the things we always tell mentees, especially when they're not ready, you don't find a mentor. When you're ready, your mentor gonna find you. I wasn't looking for a mentor. I was looking for something to lose weight. I went from 300 pounds to 240.
And how long?
I got my blue belt in 2 months. The following in less than 18 months. In less than 18 months. But I was training every day, sometime twice a day, Monday to Friday, sometime twice a day.
Did you change your lifestyle too, the way you eat?
The way I eat, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Once you start training and you start your body start taking that pain, if you're serious about your training, you're gonna change how you eat.
Yep. 100%.
Because certain thing you eat, like it's gonna come up. Like one of the things Cyborg used to tease me about was I'll be waiting for training because I'm waiting for the I think it was the 9 o'clock with Coach Deneen to be done, and then so they can start pro training, and I'll Uber eat. And he's like, dude, you're about to train. Like
You're eating right before
the
you
meeting.
Yeah.
He's like, the minute Uber Eat pull up, I know it's you, but I'm eating stuff that's gonna fuel me. I kind of, like the training, like if you're training hard, like you've been
burning.
in fight
Yeah,
sport,
your fuel. You
so
gotta load up.
but you know what to eat, what not to eat.
Yeah.
So
You're in tune.
of course that, so you have to change your diet as well.
That's what you do
just-
get more in tune with your
There's
body.
no other way. There's no other way. You have to.
So talk about that mentorship program that you run with your wife.
So we have a couple. We have our own, which was in the Moving Instructors Academy, and then we have one with the church that we are part of. So those are the two different ones. I started speaking to some other people that do jiu-jitsu, but that are also African American, because I want to have a jiu-jitsu program where it's almost like a big brother type of thing, but with jiu-jitsu. Because I'm looking at myself, I'm like, listen, I'm a highly motivated person. and I see what jiu-jitsu helped me accomplish. So you have a lot of those kids, and I'm looking at my kids, you know? You have a lot of those kids that if they can get that at their age, you know, like a whole lot of stuff that's going on, you know, like we won't have to deal with. Like I was actually texting Professor Brennan on my way here about that guy that shot the cop in the head. I'm like, man, like certain people, I mean, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say that, you're not a human being, you know, free to do, you're not in danger, you know? Mm-hmm. So I was speaking to him on that, and then he was like, just focus on you. Don't focus on the world. Focus on you. Don't get into politics. Just live your life. Same guy that invited me to jiu-jitsu and I didn't want to go, and then I went, and now I'm a Pan Am champ. You know, I'm a world champ. It's like I didn't even go for all of that.
But that's mentorship. That's what you're. That's
you know,
he's giving it to you.
Yeah, so you know, same. Like I didn't know what a world champion was in jiu-jitsu. You know,
now you are one.
Yeah. So certain things you have to get exposed to.
Yeah.
So a lot of those people, or should I say, a lot of those young men, or a lot of children, certain things they will never achieve because they were never exposed to it. Mm-hmm. If you're not exposed to it, you're not.
Right. You don't know it's possible.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, in 20.
That's the definition of opportunity. You're giving them opportunities.
In 2014, when I met my wife, her mentor lived in a mansion. I've never stepped foot in a house like that before. So there's no way I could have been like, you know what? I want one of those. I've never seen it. Never stepped foot in one. Never stayed in one. And we started going there often. And I'm like, man, like, I like that. If he can have it, I just have to work a little harder. You know?
I tell my wife there's no difference between a successful person that she sees in her. There's no difference between, okay, your background may be different, but what's in here, what's in here,
same.
It's exactly the same. Yeah. If they can do it, why can't you?
Absolutely.
We have a lot of those conversations because I'm obviously like full-time job. Well, I'm not doing enough, training 5 days a week at a point, and then I start a podcast. You know, then I throw this whole other thing in the mix that's going to take me away from the family. So, but I told her, you know, now it's like, look, give me a couple of years and I'll make this a success, and we did.
Like, you know? It's there's a purpose behind it. Yeah. The issue is a lot of people do things because they see other people do it without a purpose, right? There's multiple podcasts, right? Why people choose this one?
Because we're the best.
So, just like DJ Khaled was saying, you know? So, but there's a purpose behind it. You know, you're not just... Yeah. So, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was like, you know what the issue is with people, why they cannot be successful? They'll see someone else do something, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go and do that. But how do you know that was yours to do? Maybe your purpose was something else. Why would I want to be a world champion like Cyborg and have a big school? Like, you know what I'm saying? No. Me becoming a world champion, it was by default. If I'm a log that's on fire and Junior is a wet log, if he stays around me long enough,
he'll dry up.
It's gonna catch on fire. There's a saying in the black community, you hang around the barbershop long enough, you're gonna get a haircut. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So by default, it was bound to happen. This is who I was around. Mm-hmm. So it happened. But my thing has always been mentorship. That's why I'm always introducing people to jiu-jitsu. So granted, I've reached those, and there's more that I want to do because I've been exposed to it. Once you get exposed to something, once I get exposed to something, I'm going to go crazy. Until I achieve it, I'm going to be running. It's like a dog with a bone. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now that I get exposed to it, I'm like, okay, I want that at brown belt. I want that at black belt. But is that my goal? Absolutely not. Is that my purpose? Absolutely not. My purpose is there's a small, almost non-existent majority of us that do jiu-jitsu. That's why I love Lloyd Irvin. I shook his hand in California one time, you know, and that meant a lot to me. Maybe if he walks on the street, nobody gonna really recognize him because guess what? He's not Jay-Z. But to me in jiu-jitsu, he's Jay-Z because now here's an African American, somebody with the same background as me, that actually has a jiu-jitsu school, but he's breeding champions. He's motivating people, you know? Like, so this is what I want to do. I really want to like bring it to more of the people of my culture.
Yeah.
You know, because I see what he does and I know what he can do for them.
Have you spoken to Drew?
Drew?
You know, Drew about, you know, he's tried to, well, I don't know, say try, but he's had some mentorship programs and he's got some things off the ground. So have you guys spoken about that stuff?
I haven't spoken to him.
You should.
I haven't spoken to him. I haven't spoken to anyone that's on the owner level yet.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. Again, the cross-training mindset. If I'm speaking to you, you're not gonna think, hey, we're trying to build something.
Yeah.
No, most people, what they will think is like, oh, you're trying to take my students.
Yeah, Drew won't think like that.
Not-
Just as far
Not
as
Drew.
somebody down here.
Not Drew. No, absolutely not Drew. But I'm saying
the mindset,
the reason
yeah.
why
It's a
I
precaution.
haven't spoke to anyone.
It's a precaution.
Just me. I didn't even know that with Drew. But what I'm saying is the reason I haven't spoke to anyone that is like that owns a school.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna see. Let me tell you something. It's like churches, right? Every corner you see a church. When 5 of those churches could have got together and create a mega church, and the mega church would have thrived. But now every corner you see 5 different churches struggling when you could have come together and create one. So most people, that's what they're looking at. And then again, it's my perception. That's why I haven't approached no one on that level.
Yeah.
But my purpose and my goal for jiu-jitsu, or for us actually opening up a school, beside the fact that I got blacklisted, and I'm like, you know what? I'm opening my own school. So like, what you gonna tell me not to go train there? I want to go train with the Mackay brothers. I go train with the Mackay brothers. Fred and Jay, yo, they dope. I love them. Taught me a lot of things.
Yeah.
I want to go train with Jim Allers. I go train with Jim Allers. Great guy. I have videos on YouTube with him like training me.
Yeah. It's jiu-jitsu.
You get what I'm saying?
Jim's coming on again soon, by the
Like
way.
whoever
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to train with, I want to train with. I have that. Granted, hey, your school that you feel like, hey, I shouldn't train there, it's cool. But listen, I still have my jiu-jitsu. Whatever you taught me, I'm not gonna forget it. And it's not going this way because I'm not wired that way. I'm cut from a different cloth. Once you teach me something, if it's something that is appealing to me, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna take it wherever I can take it.
So I don't know if you know this. We actually, in the early days, well, maybe like over a year ago, we started a foundation, the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies Foundation. We sponsored a couple of kids already. We're supposed to be doing just trying to raise a little bit more money, but trying to do something for a first responder or a veteran. So we've done it before. So as we continue to get off the ground, when you get this off the ground, talk to us, because we, like right now, we pay for jiu-jitsu for 2 kids in other states. For 1 year, we pay for their jiu-jitsu for 1 year.
That's
and they were
great.
because they were doing really cool things. The little boy that got bit on his face.
Yes, I remember
Bridger
that.
Walker.
Yeah, I remember that when
He
he
was
was
our very-
protecting his sister.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
he's our very first winner.
Nice.
And then the girl after that does a lot of stuff with Tap Cancer Out. Her mother has cancer,
Awesome.
and she's been raising a lot of money. So they were our first 2.
See,
So-
this is maybe when I was watching martial art, I was looking at something different. But to me, any martial art, even when you started watching Jackie Chan and he started doing all the funny stuff,
The best.
but there was always that portion where like giving back, motivating, you know? If you're in love with martial art growing up, you cannot get in martial art and not expect that, or not expect to actually do that, to give that back. So now we're definitely going to do a lot of stuff together.
Well, I'd love to talk to you more about it when we get a chance.
Go, man. Fire them questions off, man. What are you doing?
We got. Listen, I told you before, I got more questions for you than any other 2 guests combined.
Well, That's flattery, but
People got questions.
Now I know what you did, but still, I found that impressive.
I mean, listen,
a lot of people like you.
You know, I'm a marketer, and also you inviting me to the show, right? And by the way, like, I've been waiting to get on your show. I'm letting you know. I'm just trying to play cool, you know. So
we knew we were gonna have you on again. Like I was waiting for this guy to come out of retirement.
You invite me to the show, so my thing is this, right? So my thing is, why do I give you back? Because you're giving me a mic, you give me an audience, you know, not just people I know. But why do I give you back, regardless of what happened during the podcast or doesn't happen? But it took. This is your baby that you're building. Mm-hmm. Anything can happen on a guest that you haven't, like, while you're building your baby.
Yeah.
So you give me that opportunity. It's like, so how do I pay it back? Why don't I start by promoting it? Is it gonna make me money? Absolutely not. But I'm here. I gotta pay it back, pay it forward. Like, so how do I do that? So people that I know, that I'm close with, and I know if Big J don't ask for nothing. So if I reach out to you and I'm like, yo, do me this solid. Oh, that's nothing. And they pushed it.
And by the way, Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
He's somebody
very
that you know and you train for. And
very great guy. Yo, listen. So my thing is, and again, talking about what you get exposed to, right?
Yeah.
So I met Ali at Fight Sport after he won World. He came over there. Cyborg had him down, and I think he spent almost a month. And first time like rolling with him, I took him down. I'm excited, man. This guy destroyed me. Like, listen, the pressure. It's like having a house on top of you, man.
Dang.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think he made me pay for that one thing down. It was like, oh, so that's how you're going to do me, BJ? And then he came back. He came back when we were training at the warehouse. He was down here for something. He was down here with Patrick Gardiao. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Very great jiu-jitsu practitioner too. I'm gonna tag you in one of his stuff.
Okay.
Good guy, great guy. And I told him about what I was doing. And then he came by and he trained with us. And when he got ready to leave, I was like, yo, how much do you charge? And then he was like, just give me gas money. Great guy. I love him. He has a great heart. So when you guys posted it, I sent it to him like, yo, hook your brother up. He was like, man, that's not a thing. How's your daughter? How you guys doing down there? How's the gym? A great guy. He's a great guy.
Well, I invited. You just call him Ali. I feel like I have to say Muhammad Ali. I invited him on the show. I know I don't think he's in the country right now. Right?
No, I think he's in Brazil.
He's still in Brazil.
Yeah, I think.
But I told him next time he's in Miami, I said, listen, we'd love to have you come in. And
yeah, he's an awesome guy.
I think I think we'll make something happen. So that was because you had posted, and I appreciated that. He reposted in the story.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
So all right, so. We have a question from, I'm not sure, I just have the handle, Uncommon Jen.
Yeah, he trains with you.
Yeah.
That's
Jose.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you for the
that
question,
guy,
Jose.
That's who I've been talking to you about. That guy's a monster.
That guy's an assassin. Listen.
Hey, dude, his name is John. Like, bro, his nickname is Juan Danaher. Like,
listen, that guy. Listen,
he's like that.
The first time I met him,
that's what I call him.
No, listen. The first time I met him, it wasn't even at Wagner's. He came to train down at Fight Sport from Wagner's.
Yeah.
And then all he did was scoot his butt, but he was catching. Listen, I don't care if your belt was red or black.
No,
he was
man.
catching everybody at blue belt. And I'm sitting on the side and I'm looking at him. I'm like, man. So I reached out to Wagner a little bit after. I was like, yo, can I come train over there? Because I want to learn some foot stuff. And you got this guy Jose, like, he's the truth.
Yeah.
And Wagner was like, yeah, man, anytime, come over. And I went there one Saturday. And the guy is so humble. And I found out he was a pastor. You know, the guy is so humble, like so humble.
And he gives back a lot.
And he sat there for like a whole hour, like going through certain drill with me with like leg stuff. Like, man, he's a great guy. Jose is a great guy.
He teaches the 6 a.m. no-gi class, and it's like a seminar every single class. Like, it's absolutely.
I don't listen. He's
cerebral. Like, he is up here, like on an. And then when he touches your leg, when he's just showing, when you're the dummy. Yeah, when you're the dummy and they're showing you the move, bro, you pray to God that you're not the dummy, because even when he's not doing it,
he doesn't have no in between.
Yeah.
He rips.
Grip and rip, baby. Here we go.
So here's his question. He says, I want to hear about being a black-owned martial arts academy. Now, he also says, in jiu-jitsu, I often see communities partitioned to either all Brazilian or all white. Jay's in a dynamic position that I'd love to hear explored. So again, what's it like being a black-owned martial arts academy? And I believe you're the only Haitian-owned Carlson Gracie?
I believe so,
right?
yes.
Okay.
So, man, that's
going deep.
That's like what me and my wife talk about all the time. Like when we talk about like what the other businesses are bringing, and we're backing up Carlson Gracie, you know, the conversations are always like, keep the end in mind. You know, keep the end in mind. Like while you started, don't lose that. Like, there's a young kid. His mom used to work at the 595 truck stop. I have a trucking company. I used to be there a lot. And the mom wanted me to mentor him. I took him to a couple of fights when, before COVID, with Combat Night with Mitch, and the kid fell in love. And I used to hang out with him a lot. When COVID hit and everything stopped, in December, he got shot in the head.
No.
And
sucks, bro.
That in mind is pulling away as much as I can from the community to keep stuff like that from happening. I remember I was still reading a story, like a little kid story. Like this guy that kept, there was a washout and there was like a whole bunch of starfish, and he'll walk, he'll grab one, throw it, grab one, throw it. And there's another guy, see, that's like two mindsets. And the other guy was like, yo, there's no way you're going to save all of those. Like, what you're doing is in vain. He was like, maybe not for all of them, for this one. And he threw it in there.
Yeah.
I make a difference. This one, I make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I make a difference. So that's the goal, you know? So being able to have that, it would have been better if I achieved that without all the pushback from how I parted ways with my previous coach. But then again, like I said, if it was a smooth transition, it wouldn't feel like it's me.
Yeah, your story is your story, and it happened the way it happened.
You know,
and if it didn't happen that way, it'd be
so. It's there's the sense of having that, being proud about it, but it's also a huge responsibility. You know, and like I said, my goal is to bring this art to as many African American as I can, because I see what it can do. I see what it done. You know, I certain things that I recognize, and I see how this can help that. But, and I'm gonna say that in the most humble way, a lot of owners or masters or professors, they're so selfish and money hungry, they don't see the change that they making. When you look at a Boy Scout or a Cub Scout, it's never about the money.
No.
I'm not saying people should run their school and not get paid for it. How are you gonna leave the lights on?
You're providing a service
You
too.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that. But there's more to what they're doing.
Yeah.
If somebody wanna go train in 20 other school, as long as they paying to keep your light on, why are you tripping? Because you don't know nothing about business. Because your doors are open. So focus on what you're doing. Like what you're doing is not just the world champions. It's not just the people that's winning multiple, but it's the people that could be on the street, but instead they're with you. I have this guy, I think his name is Ryan from Fight Sport, Project Grapple. You know, that's another program that me and my wife been talking about a lot. That we're trying to find a way to do something with them and help them, because that's to me, this guy, I don't know how many word title he has, but I feel like he have them all, because there's nothing better than giving someone a better life like giving someone option.
He's down in Liberty City, right?
Yeah, some of those kids, they don't have options. And that's why I love Coach Manuel, which is the wrestling coach at Fight Sport. Like, he trained these kids with Ryan. He doesn't ask for nothing. I remember when I was training down there, he was asking me to bring my kids to train. I was like, okay, coach, I mean, I know, like, how good you are, like, how much? He said no. And I don't even think, even when it comes to training at Fight Sport, they don't pay him. He just like to give.
For the love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he like to give
That's
back.
the best.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, those people in my book, and then you will find a few rare breed, like, Cyborg have his moment, like when, like, he's genuinely like giving back. Like, he's a great guy. He has that word champ, but he also have that sympathy mentality. Like, he sympathizes with people. And he's always giving back. But he's also a word champ. So he have time to do both. So
He's a hard worker.
more people should do that. This is martial art.
Get the thing.
I don't. Were you there when the first? I didn't get to meet Ali, but he was there after Hurricane Maria. They did. I don't know if you were still involved with Fight Sports back then.
What year?
When was Maria?
I don't.
Somebody
ask
Google
me.
that.
I just
I'm
like
with the
remember
computer.
Irma.
It was Hurricane
I
Maria.
remember Irma.
Well, he brought in Renzo Gracie.
16.
He brought in Tom DeBlas.
I've seen.
He brought in Ali. They were supposed to fight.
Once.
And they canceled the fight. He said, Ali, can you come down, though? Because I got to raise money. I know, I think the Key West location got, like, completely wiped out.
Yeah, by the
It was
he did
2017.
2017.
Yeah, October.
So they did a seminar. So they had all those famous guys come in, and
that's the year I started jiu-jitsu.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
I got married in 2016. In November, I started jiu-jitsu February of 2017. That's when I started jiu-jitsu.
Dang.
February 2017.
All right.
So I have a question that kind of feeds off of what we're talking about. So Anna Lily Baby. Just read that. Don't say it out loud, though.
Yeah.
The way that it's written. Because I was going to read it differently. Anna Lily Baby.
You should know her. She trains at Wagner's.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel that you have to train harder to prove that you belong here because of being an outsider to the sport? The outsider part, I was going to why is he if he's training, he's not an outsider. But, I mean, there's a story there.
I feel like I have to, you know what? At one point, I was doing for all the wrong reasons. I'm going to be 100, right? At one point, I was like, so you're going to kick me out on some bullshit? Anybody you have in my division, I'm going to kick their ass. So at one point, that was the training. Like, you're going to kick me out on some bullshit. I'm more driven than a lot of people you train with. Like, it's just me. I'm just a driven individual. And I was like, you know what? Anybody you have in my division, I'm going to kick their ass. That was the mindset. Then it changed. Then he was like, now I'm going to train hard for everybody that thought that because I got blacklisted, my jiu-jitsu career was dead. I'm like, no, I'm still here. I'm still pumping. Purple belt, win a couple of titles, brown belt, did my first competition, took it home, like it was nothing. And I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to keep going because someone thought they pulled the rug from under my feet. Now, you thought you did. I'm not that guy. It's just not me. So that's why I feel like I train harder because I have my purpose, which is what I'm trying to get out there to my community, number one. But cutting the rug under the feet of a grown-ass man does something to you, especially if you're alpha.
Yeah, it's a flight or fight. Like,
it does. So it's either you're going to stand your ground and fight or you're going to fold like everybody else. Big J don't fold. They'll tell you that. Big J don't fold.
It sounds like it doesn't matter what would have happened. This is going to be the outcome anyways.
Listen.
That's what it sounds like. You just keep saying that's not who you are. So no matter what would have happened, you would have been successful no matter what.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, my thing is, whatever I get into, just like when you invited me, I started promoting you. Whatever I get into, if I'm in your house, right? I'm sitting in your house and I do roof repair. You invited me to your house, we're watching a fight, and I see something in your ceiling. I'm like, I can fix that for you. Hey, Big J, how much? man, you have me over your house where you lay your head with your family. I can fix that for you. So when you invite me in something, although I'm paying for it, I'm going to see where I'm going to bring values. There isn't a school that I've trained in that's not going to tell you that. Even if I go and I buy all their merchandise, I'm going to support one way or another. And I'm always going to hit you up, hey, you should try that. I remember when COVID hit, I've caught multiple schools. I'm like, listen, they're giving this. They're giving the EIDL. Go to that website. Listen, I have texts upon texts, like, go to that website, apply for this, apply for that, apply for this. And those are people that I've trained with maybe one time, maybe two times. I haven't trained with in years, but it's the fact that you build a relationship when you go visit another school.
Yeah.
You know, granted, you're learning new skills, you're meeting people, but you build relationship.
You're an advocate for jiu-jitsu too. That's the thing.
Yeah, but
You're
so there's a saying in network marketing, right? Your network is your net worth. So if I was limiting myself to only be stuck and train at Nova Jerusalem and not training in different school, I would have never met Ali. I would have never met Tom the Blast. You know, and so many different people that I've met training over there. The first time I met Carlson Gracie Jr., I met Carlson Gracie Jr. at Fire Sport. Now, we are affiliated with him. When he's in town, you know, we chat, we interact. I have his cell phone number, but how exactly would that have happened? You know what I'm saying? You got to get exposed to certain things, and you cannot get exposed to certain things sitting in a box.
Yeah.
For you to get exposed, you got to put yourself out there.
And deal with the adversity that comes with
Definitely.
Yeah.
So there's a saying, don't pray for rain if you're not ready for the mud.
Right,
So
yeah,
I knew there's somewhere I wanted to get, and that will be involving me, you know, interacting with certain people. And I knew there would be pushback, but I didn't think the pushback was going to affect someone, the way someone think. Like, if what is wrong is wrong, what is right is right. It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, it can be my dad. What is wrong, I'm going to tell you. Yo, my dad just had heart surgery, and then he moved in with us. And certain things he was doing, certain interaction because of his pain and stuff he was doing when he came to my mom helping him out. And I was telling him, listen, I understand you're in a lot of pain. I can't fathom what you just went through. And I was the one that sat there for like a 7-hour surgery, you know, and I'm a junior. I carry his name. So that hit me harder than everybody else. And that's my dad. That's my hero. I had to tell him, listen, you're going to have to speak to my mom different. I know that's your wife. I understand that. But I'm raising your grandkids. I cannot see you interact with your wife like this.
Because they're watching.
You get what I'm saying? You're here now. So if you're my father, you're doing something, I'm going to tell you. So it's a principle. So did I think that there was going to be pushback? Absolutely. And come on, man, let's be real. You know? But did I think it was going to affect someone's principle? Absolutely not. But would I have changed my pattern? Absolutely not.
Yeah. Is that me?
What else you got, man?
No, it's not me. I think mine is outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's,
All
on,
right.
it's on Buzz.
So we have another question. Melinda Sands Long.
I'll go good.
Do you find the memes? I think this is kind of funny because I'm a big guy. I fall in the big guy category as well.
So do I.
Do you find big for little guys? You're a real big little guy. Do you find the memes and stereotypes of big men in jiu-jitsu offensive? Now she says, my husband is 275. Do you know Melissa?
Yes.
Melissa Sands. My husband is 275, and I think he's amazing. We both started training to bond with our son 2.5 years. And 2.5 years later, we love it. I see posts and memes making fun of big guys, and I think it's rude and discounts the big men and women of BJJ.
So I think I understand what she's saying, and I agree with 100% because I've seen the memes, right? Mm-hmm. But there's meme about veterans. There's meme
Cops.
about football players. There's memes about cops. There's memes about everything you do in life. The question is which one you're going to allow to affect you. Yeah. Because I see those memes, right?
Yeah.
I'm still a world champ, baby.
Yeah.
It don't change. It don't change
You know?
nothing.
So the thing is, what do you do with it? Like, I see those memes,
You laugh,
but
right?
Am I going to allow
embrace
it to define me?
Yeah.
Whatever, even something that someone say, right?
Yeah.
Something that they try to attribute to you. unless you allow it to defy you, it can't touch you. There's a saying, I think my wife mentioned that the other day. A boat can only sink if the water get inside.
Yeah.
If it's around you, it's not going to do nothing.
Don't let the water in.
You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter what people are putting. I mean, I don't allow it to get to me because I still train hard. Listen, I move with some people that's like half my size, and they're like, yo, how do you move like that? Well, I train.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people will talk.
I think they're hilarious. As a matter of fact, I try to create some of them once in a while. I think it's funny.
I was just thinking about memes the other day, and I'm gonna drop a big clue with anyone that can catch it and make money with that. It's like getting free like comedy show. You can be going through your day and like you pissed, but you know this one guy that's always posting stuff. You know, if you open that page, you're gonna laugh.
Yeah.
You just gonna laugh. Some people just sit there and then go on pages just to laugh. They use social media just to laugh.
Yeah, it's a stress relief mechanism.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it becomes a service, but it becomes a free service.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So memes are really memes.
Well, it's not free, but
not all memes are there. I know, but not all memes are there to criticize. Some of them are just jokes,
and they're funny jokes.
There are some. Now, I've had that before when you're training in a gym, and then you have people making fun of your weight. Now, somebody that come in and they want to build their confidence, which is what martial art does. Now you're taking that from them.
Yeah.
Now that's a different ballgame.
Yeah. So I mean, there's big muscular, and then there's big overweight.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not muscular. I think I'm big boy.
Now I'm thinking about it a little bit as I've created some.
If you're talking about big muscular, you're talking about the Victor Doya, the Cyborg, the Ali's. Like this guy's they big, but they're like shredded.
Yeah. Acai and Jesus.
Like me.
I saw you in Jesus. I'm dead.
It doesn't bother me. I'm a big guy. It's not. There's no six pack.
But that's fuel in the tank, though. They don't know that.
Powerlifters have to maintain a gut to be able to exert the energy to do what they do for a living, like the world's strongest men.
Okay.
It's like metabolically they have to look that way. That's why there's a body type.
All right, so let's get into this next question because it really talks about this. Miller 46 and 2, thoughts on strength and conditioning for BJJ for older athletes over 40. So it seems to me that when we lose some speed and agility as we age, but raw strength is the last to leave.
Did he say weak? Did he say we?
We.
Speak for yourself.
As we age. Should we then try to maximize this attribute?
I think like Professor Boo, you have a great like strength and conditioning program, and I think they actually added to their membership. That's Carlson Gracie South. I'm in Miami, Go Squad, and when you look at some of the people that are there, most of them they're over that age.
Yeah,
the cardio is everything. It doesn't matter how old you are. Like the gas in the tank, you take a 67 Chevy and a 2021 Chevy with no gas in the tank. It's not gonna go anywhere. Gas in the tank is gas in the tank. Regardless of how old you are, unless now you're talking about your knees and stuff, and you need to eat different things, get different supplement. Like when I was training twice a day, every other night, I have a friend of mine. He moved to Texas recently, and he's into sport medicine, and he was working for this college where he was in charge of the athletes. I'm not gonna say which school, and I used to go there, and he work on me, and then after he's done. You did it.
Oh yeah,
you did it.
Yeah. Good recovery.
Yeah, and then he puts you in the ice bath, and then the next day you're ready to go. So there's as long as you're doing the maintenance you need to do to your body for you to get your strength conditioning. Gas in the tank is gas in the tank. You can have all the skills. You can know everything. You. Perfect example. Conor versus
Poirier?
No, the boxing fight.
Oh, versus
Mayweather.
Mayweather.
Mayweather waited it out. Everybody that knew fighting, they knew he was gonna wait it out because McGregor don't train for that.
He doesn't know that.
So by the time his tank got empty, what happened to his skills? What happened to his power punch? Gassing the tank is gassing the tank.
And like you said, I think recovery plays a big role of that.
Big
It
time.
does.
And in the beginning and in the end, right? So stretching in the beginning. So a lot of times we don't do that. We do some stretching in class, but
Yeah.
take the responsibility of stretching on your own.
Yeah, and they also have certain supplement. And I got exposed to that training at Fire Sport as well. Victor Doya used to have adaptogen science. Like I used to be training and I used to hydrate with water. Then he had those drinks, those recovery drinks.
Yeah, like the post workout.
Yeah, like not even
I'm
a
drinking those
post
now.
not even a post workout. He has one where you can drink it as you training, and it has all
Yeah.
the electrolytes and everything. The
branched chain
and you
aminos,
can really
BC.
feel the change.
Yeah.
I think right now
That's what I
these
got
new
right now.
companies like Fighter's Choice,
Fighter's
Fighter's
choice.
Fighter's Choice, and I'm still buying the same product that he had with adaptogen science. I'm still using the same one. The reason being, I tried it before when I was
Yeah.
training, and I noticed the change between that and the water.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So doing all of those things, is gonna help you get the training you need. But to answer that question, absolutely, like you need to get on your strength and conditioning. Gas in the tank is gas in the tank. I think this is the one secret that people try to not to tell too many people. Listen, if you have gas in your tank, you can outlast in a fight. It's anybody's fight.
What I feel,
It's anyone's fight.
I hadn't, because of I hurt my knee right before COVID. I didn't get to train for a while, and I couldn't even do weights. And I shouldn't say couldn't. Really, I probably could have, but I wasn't.
You lazy fat ass.
I'm a lazy ass. So I went back to train, hurt my rib, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not doing this again.
Floating
if I can
ribs?
train, I'm going to train. Yeah, if I can train, I'm going to train."
Ribs are the worst.
But what I'm finding is I get less injuries when I'm working out, or at least the working out, and I'm not going super heavy, but I'm working out with weights, and I'm not getting hurt like I was before, or I feel like I don't get banged up like I did, and I'm rolling just as hard as I did before. And that's the only thing that I've changed. I really feel like it helps me with that recovery. And I think it goes back to even the knee. When I hurt my knee, they were like, well, all the exercises were about making the muscles
knee-
around
the knee
stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
man.
Junior's smiling at me.
Counterintuitive.
He's got. I can know Junior's got a smart ass comment loading.
No, I don't.
He looked at me like he went. He was gonna.
no.
It's buffering. You know?
Yeah.
Not at all, man.
But I feel for me,
I'm
that's
just
what I
thinking
feel.
about Bo has us in this sweat lodge right now.
Yeah,
Good looking
I
out,
was
Bo.
asking myself, is it the light?
No, it's
Nah,
a sweat
man, it
lodge.
was just hot.
It is, but you see, like we close off the door, the AC's on.
No,
the
but
other
usually
side of
I'm the
door.
guy that be sweating.
Yeah, I'm sweating.
I'm super
I don't know
sweaty.
why.
Junior
I
not
watch you
sweating.
No, I'm not
Junior,
sweating.
Junior
Yeah,
glowing a little bit.
Bro, I'm in a meditative state
He's
right
glistening.
now.
Yeah.
Like a
He's
Buddha right
glistening.
now. I'm trying
This
not
is
even
good.
to breathe.
I
Like, I'm
competed
not
this
even
morning,
breathing.
so
You're
like,
not, Bo, you're not sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know what's
I'm
going
hot
on
as
between
hell.
y'all over there.
Bo
I
got shorts on.
I've had the great idea of putting on. a long
Okay,
sleeve
but I
shirt
don't know
on
what's
my
going on
shirt.
with you then.
I competed this morning, so like I'm still like.
Oh, I'm hot as hell.
so-
Your
I'm-
adrenaline is still
I'm
up
so-
there.
I'm
I got
so
the
ready.
My
ready.
Yeah.
man, that's what's up.
And I got the hat on.
You're like a
Shout out to
prostitute
Flow
in
and
church
Roll.
right now, boy.
Yeah.
So I'm real hot under here. Yeah. So, all right, so let's keep the exercise
Help me.
conversation going.
Yeah.
Uncle Bass Mike.
Oh, that's one of the veterans.
That's just ugly, bro.
That's
ugly.
Is that your gym?
Ugly.
Listen,
Ugly Bass
listen.
Mike.
This old man.
Could be base too.
Listen, this old man will end you with a finger. Like this is one of those old veterans. That's like Mike Mitchell. Like know his stuff.
yes, yes,
know
yes.
his stuff.
Yeah.
Like the kind of guy that's like working like he's a manager.
He's a Navy
at
vet.
a
Yeah.
club,
Yeah.
and then like the guy, his car, he's ready for World War III. Like the guy, listen, the guy's listen, but he's a very cool guy. I mean,
State prepper.
He's legit.
Man,
Ugly
listen.
Bass Mike.
Yeah,
I'm
most
sorry,
people
I just
that
want-
are prepared.
That's my big brother there, man.
What do you
Shout
say?
out to Mike. He's having a baby, right?
Here's
He's
his
having a
question.
baby.
Yes, he's having a girl.
right.
Yeah.
He's having a girl now.
I gotta.
Mike
You
Mitchell.
ask him one question: is it ugly bass Mike or is it ugly bass Mike? But
So,
here's the question.
what I'll do for you, I'm gonna invite you to my school
What's-
to come train with us. While you're training with him, you ask him.
There you go.
You can ask
From
him.
side control.
I'm busy that day. I'm busy that day, just so you know.
Whatever, man. I'll do it. All right. So, Mr. Mike asks, As a bigger guy,
You see, Mr. Mike.
Now he's Mr. Mike.
Mr. Mike.
Do you think? I like that.
Yeah, CYA. As a bigger guy, what drills and exercises do you feel would help other larger people to roll more fluid? Like, I am older, heavy set guy who works out 5 days a week, but I am slow and not real smooth on the mat like similar people are. I am looking for drills or exercises, hopefully with help on the mat, fluid-like movements. Thanks.
Wow, that was great.
Sorry,
great.
I need my glasses. That was all done unassisted.
Man, shit,
Good job.
That hurt.
But I'm also slow and not real smooth on the mat, like smaller people.
Like
he said
smaller
similar, like smaller people. I'm looking for drills to exercise to hopefully help with on the mat fluid-like movements.
See, he said fluid-like.
Yeah,
I did
fluid-like
say I knew.
movements.
Yeah, I was reading.
So
Thoughts?
when I was training at Fight Sport, I used to do private with Dennis Denino, and my first I want to say my first 4 lessons was side control number 1, side control number 2, side control number 3, north south. You go on the other side, you reverse the same thing to 3, 2, 1, and I remember doing it right. And I'm like, I'm paying this guy like over $100 for this. Like, Master Took already taught me this, bro. What you doing? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I remember the second day for a whole hour we did that. The third day for a whole hour, I'm like, yo, why do I feel like Daniel's son? Like, wax on, wax off. Like, for 3 days.
Yeah.
Like, for 3 days.
I know this already.
Like, for 3 days, we're doing the same thing. But on the third day, he started, like, integrating submissions with it. But there's no way he could have showed the different submissions without making sure I master that.
The foundation.
A lot of us, we want to skip that, right? So he started showing me different submission. It's like, yo, Jay, you playing chess. Even if you hit someone with the first submission, let it be the third submission. That's where you're going to catch them. But in order for that to happen, you have to keep moving the same way. So that drill is very good. Even now, I still do it. My kids do it. Like, we all do it. It's very fluid. It's not heavy on the knees, you know? So that's what I've tried, you know, as far as I'm concerned. Then again, I'm a brown belt. I'm a baby. So if you're talking about, like, on the heavy side, like, Cyborg is a freak of nature. Some of the moves he does, sometimes I'm like, dude, somewhere in there, you're like 130 pounds.
It's very pliable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's no way, like, people
move
like us,
that, yeah.
like, you know, like,
What do you
like,
do you mean like us?
like, you know what I'm talking about.
I've never seen
But
Milton invert ever.
That's
They
one.
can't
That's
see
one.
me behind.
So
Why do you think I sit behind the screen like this?
Listen, he was showing a move that was kind of like the bolo, kind of inverted, and he's doing it. And he's like, Big J, you should be able to do that. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? My question is, how can you do that? Like, people like us, we don't even. But as I started like training more, it's like, you know, like you get more juice in your joint, they become fluid.
Yeah.
You know, that's a great way to flow when it comes to the size and that age. And it's drill that I've done at the school too. And then there's a set of drills that baby shows to kind of get your joint to be more flexible before you start. It's a warm up.
It's like a pre-warm up.
So the funny thing is, it's a warm up, and he said, yo, Jay, on the days that you don't train with me, you can take this warm up and that'll be your workout. That'll be your training day. That'll be your drill.
Like an active recovery.
Yeah, it's like it's very nice. I mean, I got videos, I can send it to you guys, but like it's real good stuff.
Yeah.
And you feel the difference in your body. You feel it in your joint. And even once you start, like especially in no gi, you're doing those movements and you're hitting them like muscle memory. Mm-hmm. But all you do is drill them, but you get in the position and the body just react like
the repetitive
mind,
nature.
Yeah, the mind is just like, yo, this is the way you go.
Yeah.
I got a question for everybody. I've just been thinking about this. Nobody sent this. So today I went to open mat.
Is that where you got that shiner?
No, this was
Where?
a couple days ago. At Fight Sports at my own gym.
Okay. Cold Spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was Warlord with Andres the other day. Try to throw him off the top.
The lockdown
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yes, yeah.
Do you know how to do that lockdown?
Yes, I do.
Bro, I
Yes,
thought
I
you had
do.
staff or
Every
something
day.
going on right there with
Yeah,
that.
you might want to.
You might want to check that out.
It was. It
You're
was
gonna
like
give
just
Felipe something with that, bro.
This is
That
guys,
lockdown.
guys trying to force their way out of it,
Out of
and,
the
and me
lockdown.
just smiling
Your
at them
leg looked
because
like-
You ain't going
I can
nowhere.
take the pain.
Your leg looks like it has COVID.
Learn
Your leg has
Let me
COVID.
put it up here. You want to take a closer look at it, bro?
Look at that.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
This was it was just like little red, and then I kept on doing.
Wow.
I couldn't do the lockdown today. I did it like a little bit, but I was like, as soon as
thought
it
you were
hit that
doing Muay
spot,
Thai
I
again.
let it go. So you know what? And it's funny, partially because of my leg, because of that bruise.
Okay.
Do you? I played a lot today, where I was giving stuff up. I was just trying different stuff. That's not typical of me to just try like, well, what if I grab this here? What if I grab this foot? What is this going to do? And I was losing position, but I had a lot of fun today. Do you do that? Do you just say, kind of experiment? Or do you talked a lot about drilling, so are you just kind of like a by the book person? Or will you say, fuck it, let's see where this brings me?
Freestyle?
Yeah, it's a little bit kind of just off script.
You want to go
Thoughts?
first, Professor?
Yeah, I would say it's a mindset. What are you going into the gym to do that day?
Yeah.
Who are you going to fight?
Yeah.
Or are you going to train that day? I'm going to try something different.
That's the thing is I
It's a
feel
mindset.
like I'm learning a little bit more at purple belt that like I'm not so worried about the belts anymore. I'm
It's
not
not
so
a
worried
kill
about
session.
losing. I'm in a place where I'm just like I want to have like I could do the north south on everybody and I could do the lockdown on everybody and I could just beat them if I want. At least, not everybody, but I can have that mindset. Or I said, fuck it, let me see if I grab this leg over the back and putting people in cradles like I haven't done in forever, doing a little wrestling. But I was just like, no, okay. Oh, shit, that didn't work. And I'm on my back and,
Yeah.
Somebody caught me in a freaking like reverse triangle. I was like, okay, that didn't work. I got my arm and I was able to get out, but I was able to play with it. So
Yeah, so yeah, just flow with it.
what about you, Jay? Do you
it's-
like to play or do you like to experiment?
It's funny, right? I only trained with this guy for like 6 months. And going back to what Josh asked, like everything I'm encountering in jiu-jitsu is something that I've faced of experience with Cyborg, right? So he has that thing where he said, you're learning those moves, and he says that to the whole class. Like, you're learning those moves. We teach you those moves. Act like you're in school. You learn the move. When you start rolling, don't pull what you know you can do, because, you can already do it.
Yeah.
Why you know you can submit this guy if you do that. Why don't you try what you learned today? Get in the bad position. See how you get, because it counts that you're performing in the gym,
Yeah.
but if you're a competitor, it really counts what happens in the competition. You cannot try those in competitions. It's like having homework. You in school, the professor do the class, and now you got homework. And that's why he started telling me to drill at night. He was like, you know what? Whatever we do in the morning,
It's your homework.
you come at night, and then you have these two guys, and you drill with them, because that's how you're going to register stuff. Like, I can say I have a repertoire. Like, I have stuff I can pull. Like, if I'm drilling, I'm not going to go after the same submission.
Yeah.
I have different submission I can use, different submission I can try. Even my professor now, Zenzinho, when we start, he's like, Jay, you can take people down. Stop taking people down. You got that pack. You take people down. But stop playing half guard. Stop playing De La Riva. Like, start doing those things and stop playing spider. And as I'm doing them, and it's like now, I can go to a competition and pull guard and I'll be comfortable.
Right.
So big guys like us, right? All we do is the same thing. Pressure, 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 pressure. So if a big guy, well, I'm not going to say like us, like me.
Yeah.
So if a big guy like
Thank
me.
you, Jay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So-
man.
He's the only
I'm
one that
starting to
says
feel
that.
bad about myself.
Forget all that.
So if a big guy like me pull guard on you, it's like, okay, it's either this guy don't know what he's doing,
Something's up.
or I'm going for a ride.
Yeah.
And I promise you, I've drilled stuff where somebody will sit on the side, they'll see me do it to someone, and they're gonna get in there like, oh, you ain't gonna do that, you ain't gonna do that. Nah, I've drilled it 100 times, I'm gonna catch you. You only saw me do it once, and you think you figure it out. But everything that you can possibly think, since I've drilled it 100 times, I know you're gonna make a mistake. Or I'm gonna catch you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you sat on the side and you see what I did. If it's not something that I drill, okay. But I've been in bad position. I've been in position where people, submitted me from it. I knew I got to tuck my feet. I knew I got to cross my feet. I know my shoulder need to be down. I know. So doing it multiple times, it's like, and getting in those bad positions multiple times is like, okay, now I'm confident. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm gonna get in that position.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna sweep you in it. I've swept like legit dudes with my half guard. But I've drilled it so many times. Like Zenzinho have that thing he has us do that he got from Professor Liborio. It's like a drill board. Stuff that, people will do in the beginning. And then those are the drill that he make you do for like an hour. You're drilling. So you're getting the cardio, but while you're getting the cardio, it's like you're also getting the muscle memory. Mm-hmm. And then you're done drilling. If you want to go home, you got your training. But after that, it's like, okay, this is the move of the day. After you drill, it's called like the board.
Wow.
I think it's crazy. It's like you get the cardio, and you're drilling all those different things, and then after that, okay, boom. So I think getting in the bad position, I've done that a lot.
There's a lot of continuity. No, there's a lot of continuity.
As a blue belt.
There's a lot of continuity. I pay attention to jiu-jitsu. I like jiu-jitsu. I love jiu-jitsu. If there's anything that anybody that's ever been good keeps saying, it's take care of yourself, take care of the people you're with, and drill. Drill. I always hear it. You just said it. Everybody says it. Everybody.
If you don't get yourself in a bad position, how are you going to know how to get out of it?
And the school mentality. You're taking a class, right? Pretend like you're in school. I go home, I do homework. Sometimes that's why the radio's off when I'm driving. Because I'm thinking about how the hell they did that and how the hell they're not going to do it ever again.
How are you going to get out?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's when you pull your training partner on the side. Like when Nick went to New York, that was like, man. And then I started training with Carlos. I was like, yeah. So the thing with Nick is before the class, he'll come early and I'll be like, let's drill this.
Yeah.
Or he'll be like, yo, DJ, let me show you something. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, there's no more satisfying feeling than hitting the move of the day on the move of the day.
That's why people keep saying it when they do it.
I yell it out. I yell it.
They should give $20 for that.
I yell it now.
While I'm doing
move of the day.
I feel like I'm old enough and I've been there long enough that I'm not going to be getting, like if a white belt yelled move of the day, I think the professor would be like, what?
But that's why some of the schools, almost every school I've trained in, they do that. They have you start in a vulnerable position sometimes.
Yeah.
Fred and Jay, they love to do that. And I'd be like, what you guys doing? Come on, Big J.
That's how you live your life. You fight out of adversity,
so they
bro.
have you start, so like getting in those, because at the end of the day, when you're in a school, you know who you can tap and who you know who you cannot tap. So you got to work with your ego where, although I know I can tap you, but how about I put myself in this position? Let me try this move that the professor did. And if you pass my guard, you pass my guard. If you tap me, listen, I have students that tap me. I have students, I have this one student, he just moved to New York, Corey, shout out to Corey. Yeah, he's like straight law enforcement. Yeah. He used to work for Hallandale, now he's working for the feds, right? And the dude is but his jiu-jitsu is legit too, right? And that's my training partner. We train a lot, same size, he lifts, and he give me a lot of tips. Sometimes we go work out together. We train a lot. And I remember one day I came from drilling with Fred and Jay, and then I went to my school. We had class that night at the warehouse, and I rolled him 3 times. He tapped me all 3 times.
Lower belt.
Yeah, he was a white belt, blue belt. And then the following time we rolled, I handed him his ass. But I wasn't there was no ego trip, and also Corey's my boy.
Yeah.
If we're drilling all the time and you never catch me, as a instructor, I'm not doing my job. How can I drill with you every day, and this is where a lot of professors need to
The shit I'm
check their
teaching you doesn't
ego,
work.
right? It's like, how come I'm teaching you something every day? You roll with me every day, and you can catch me with one? Even a broken clock get the time right
Two times.
2 times in a day.
You're right. Absolutely right.
times.
So this is how a lot of them should gauge. Like my professor, like he murders me, but sometimes I catch him. When I catch him, he's like, "You're learning, BJ." You get what I'm saying?
Grasshopper moment.
Like, but
I remember
you-
the first time I caught my first coach. I was a white belt, and I caught him. He was letting me put it on him, but I caught him, and he came back the next day. He was like this. He went like this. He opened it. He went like this. He was saying, "I'm dusting off the book because now I gotta bring some new shit because you know my shit now."
Yeah.
That's what he. So sometimes they let us catch him. Sometimes we catch him. But if he was
Complacency.
rolling hard with me
but
from the
you know,
beginning,
it
he would have kicked my ass.
It creates a sense of like confidence in someone, especially someone that looks up to you.
And the lower belts.
Like-
lower belts, yeah.
So I used to have this thing with Cyborg where I used to tease them. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna pass your guard one day. I'm gonna pass your guard one day. And it used to be before training, after training. I used to be like on him. It will never happen, BJ. And then we were rolling one time, and I passed his guard. And then you guys were at South Park.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
sometimes.
right, you've seen the meme with the guy with the roll barrel, and he was holding
with his
something in
balls?
it. So I showed it to
say it?
Cyborg.
Yeah.
You can say
I showed it to
That was the
Cyborg. and I was
KFC
like,
episode.
"This is me working out the gym today. I passed the guard." But it does something for you. You know,
Yeah.
Even as a student, some people will look at it, and he didn't look at it that way. But some people will look at it like, man, like this student. But it's like, yo, he's learning.
Yeah.
And it was like
A
me.
good instructor is going to be proud.
Yeah, like he was like, yo, DJ, you did good. Even when I sent him the meme, he was like,
Yeah.
man, you did great today. You know what I'm saying? So him saying that to me, it's like I'm so far from where I started.
Yeah.
And even as a competitor, now you're sending me in there with the mindset, right? This is the mind. Listen, the mind is powerful. Even with illness, they tell you can heal yourself based on how you think, right? So you're sending me to competition with guys that barely training. In my head, I'm like, yo, I pass Cyborg's guard. I'm about to fuck you up.
You're unstoppable. You're
It's like,
unstoppable at that
you
point.
know? So it's like, it's in the head. But why did it cost him? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
What did I gain from it? Absolutely everything.
Everything. You earned it.
My coach that I just told that story about,
Mm-hmm.
he went home and posted that on Facebook that he got caught by one of his students, and he was proud. So that's what I say. A good teacher is going to be proud when you catch them.
Growth.
Because growth.
They're
learning.
So-
You're doing your job.
So I had one professor that I caught in so Zenzinho is taught me how to all the details in paper cut and baseball bat choke.
Oh, those are nice.
And I was under and the person was over, I was under. And then they applied the paper cut and I apply mine and I swing my hips and lock them in. Instead of tapping, they almost passed out. I was humble enough to let go. I was at that school for like a year. After that, they never rolled with me.
Yeah.
That person never rolled with you?
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to make a bunch of people proud.
Yeah.
I just want to make
And then
there's
in
so-
my
I got a
head,
long
in my
list.
head, I didn't look at it like, yo, like, you got nothing. I looked at it like, oh my God, like, this is improvement. Like, he see that he's not teaching me in vain.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, hey, anyway. It
Hey, man,
happens.
I feel you.
Exception to
Hey,
rules.
I was a white belt with these two guys. You
Which
know?
two guys?
These two right here.
What are you
Like
talking
in the
about?
school.
We trained
School.
together.
We
We trained
trained.
together.
White belt.
I'm a
trained-
white
he
belt.
was
I'm a
a-
blue belt now. When I
Oh.
was, I mean,
So
these
you
were-
say you were a white belt
I was a white
when
belt.
professor was a white belt?
yeah,
No, no,
and
no.
now I see how you heard it.
I was-
no. I was a white belt
Training with
training,
us.
and they
Okay,
were
okay,
going
okay.
to
I was gonna
fights
call
with
you
Coral
Pescado.
Springs. No, and
The curse of the blue belt?
Yeah.
No.
I never heard that.
Yo, it's a curse. And I mean, dude, you guys used to obliterate me like in a bad way because I was also coming at it hard, like with a lot of
You were-
ego.
you were coming at it a lot of hard with a lot of
understand.
ego, and you wrestled.
Yeah.
You were a wrestler,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
How many years did you wrestle?
high school.
So I knew that,
Yeah.
but I knew that. You told me that early on. Like he was brand new. I said, I heard him
also
talk
did
about the
combatives.
military.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard he did the military, I knew he did some type of combatives. And then he said he also wrestled.
You
so I
you're
never
at
took
least
it
a blue
easy.
belt. If you're a wrestler, you start in jiu-jitsu, you're a blue belt.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
but I would
it's
still
just-
get my ass handed to me. But what I'm saying is just like that. It's like when I
You
started.
did it.
When
He
I
said
started,
I did it.
I've never taken it easy on him.
No.
Oh, we got a good story. I should tell that story.
Yeah.
You want to
Bring
hear?
it
I'll
back.
tell you a good story.
But what I'm saying is, it's like I kept getting better, and like I wasn't winning, but like I was. It went from
he's
like
now a technical fighter. Like when I fight him, he's been way more technical than I. Where he could have
Hard to kill.
depended on his wrestling and been somebody that's going to take you down, stay on top. He's way more technical than most of the blue belts that I know, or all of the blue belts that I know.
He's polished now.
Yeah.
Well, I think
It's polished.
you got to think the blue belt curse is part of that too, right?
Yeah.
The part of it is you have to be humble. You have to drop your ego
Absolutely.
because that's the only
Yeah.
way you're going to learn.
Well,
and I just want to say this.
I'm
where I
going
was-
to beat the learning into you.
for sure, but I'm gonna say
I'm
this.
gonna learn you today. You're gonna
You-
learn.
Both of you have both told me, like, pulled me aside and gone, dude, you're getting better. Like, you know, like that, and that helps you.
Let
know?
me tell you something, and that's for you.
Yeah.
And it's gonna come out at first like a question. What's more expensive, olive or olive oil?
I'd probably say
Olive oil, right? How do you get olive oil?
from olives. Yeah.
You got to ring it.
That's what they're doing to you. So
Yeah.
now you olive oil.
All right.
So
Now-
your value.
You're a polished
not-
turd.
value
You're a
went up.
polished turd.
yeah, but I'm not like extra virgin olive oil yet. I'm still like
No,
dog
you're a
shit.
turd. You're
Guy.
just polished.
I have a really
I'm gonna
good
get
story.
you that shirt. I'm that guy.
I'm that guy.
I got a
Might
really
be.
good story for this guy. So about him. So I don't know how many years ago it was now. I think you were still a white belt.
Dude, I've only been training for a year and 7 months.
Okay, so he was a white
Wasn't
belt.
that long ago.
He was a white belt, and we rolled, and we stopped. End of the round, we rolled again. Right after it was right after we rolled
Yeah.
again, and he says, "Hey, do you mind if we go 100%?
100%.
100%." But now
With
we
you.
were with me. We just rolled. We're going to roll again. He says, "Can we? Do you mind if we roll 100%? I want to see how I do." I'm looking. I'm on the floor. I'm looking up at him, and I'm like, "This motherfucker is telling me that he's been taking it easy on me." That's the way my mind took it
That's
at that
the
time.
mind.
That's not how I meant it.
I took it.
I would have taken it the
This
same
mo-
way.
Oh, you take it easy
What
on
do
me.
you mean?
So I said, "Sure,
Let's
go ahead."
go.
So we rolled. I think I tapped him quicker than
Yeah,
the
way
previous
faster.
round.
Yeah,
way
You
exactly.
faster.
had the man go 100%.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't go 100.
He
I still
did
didn't
it.
go 100. He
That
went
still was
100%.
I
didn't go
went 100%.
And I tapped it quicker, and then at the end of the round, I said, "You were better
when you were
rolling."
under 100%.
Yeah, you're going right. But we've talked about it a lot. He's, I wanted to test. He needed to know, like, he needed to learn
Yeah,
that.
I
He
was
needed
doing
to
it for
learn.
myself. It
Yeah.
wasn't from an ego standpoint. It was from like, I want to know if I
Initially,
go.
I took it that way. I was like,
Yeah.
"This
know, I think
motherfucker
one
just told me
thing-
that I'm taking it easy on you, Grandpa." And
I'm 37. bro.
the story's more fun for me when I tell it that way
Yeah.
too.
I meant it. Sometimes you fucking goon out of shit.
True.
You do. Everybody goons
True.
out of. So even the little guys goon out.
There you go, ep shit.
Yeah,
It happens.
And I came into jiu-jitsu as an older man. I'm 35, 36 when I started, something like
Me
that.
too.
Well, I'm just saying,
Older.
like,
No, I'm just
you
kidding.
have a different. I had 2 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on a different mindset. So like, I knew
by
not
the-
to be an asshole.
I already had 4.
Yeah, it's like I was just like I knew not to be
Yeah.
that guy. you
That
know what I
guy.
mean? The other that guy. Fuck that guy.
No, but like you, like from what he's saying, it's like, I mean, you progressing very well. I think the thing I've heard from a lot of coaches, when you are white and blue belt, they keep telling you to slow your game down. It's like they're saying it, but the first person to break it down was Cyborg. Because I keep hearing, slow your game down. Like, you're going too fast.
That's a
You're
good
going too
impression,
hard.
actually.
Slow your game down. So the first person that was like, listen, like, just like this, So I think we say that a lot. And I think for like beginners, we need to show them, teach them. Because
Yeah.
you're telling them, it's like a kid that is a fast driver, and in his head he's like he's a drag racer. He starts on 100 and he park on 100. You keep telling him slow down, but he don't know slow down. You got to show him slow down. Sometime let him go crazy and tapping him faster. That's all you show him. Listen, that's what I'm telling you. Like, slow your game down. Like, you were better at 20%.
He didn't need to tell me that, by the way.
Nah, you-
I knew it.
You felt it.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
I was doing it from a scientific perspective, even though I did come off as an asshole. And I was a spazzy ass
And
white
I
belt.
didn't know him really well at that point,
Yeah.
so
But
I found it funny. I was never offended.
Yeah,
but
for
in
sure.
my mind, in that moment, I was just like, is he telling me that he's been taking it easy on me?
I'm always that guy, man. Like I say stuff.
Self-proclaimed
Like
that guy.
there's no filter with me.
filter. That's
like
why he's here.
If I talk
Comic
to somebody,
relief.
like if something comes up, I'm just gonna talk about it because that's.
But I think it's a great thing, and anything that you're doing, if you want to go to the person that you've been rolling with and handling your butt, and you're like, yo, like, don't hold back. It's like not a lot of people like to challenge themselves. So the fact that you're willing to challenge yourself to see your growth, man, that speaks volume on where you're going.
Thanks. I just
You know?
don't know what it feels like.
What do you think, Professor?
No, I agree. I completely. You have to, even if you're pushing yourself.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that I tell other people that I train with when I did train, before you say a smart
Before
comment,
you retired?
is breathe.
Yeah.
Control your breathing.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
thinking?
Sure.
And your nose out your mouth. I learned
What
that from
I-
him.
Man,
You want to know what I'm thinking about
I
right
learned
now,
that
though?
from him. He's like, he has to get filtered.
He'll
And
tell
your
it to
nose
you
out
while
your
he's
mouth.
whooping your ass too. He'll be like, breathe. I'm like, I'm
Absolutely.
trying.
You're moving
When-
too fast.
When and if you do come back to train, are you going to take this nose ring out?
Negative.
Oh, that's
yeah.
what that was?
That's what that was.
Whoa,
You see
I thought that
You see
was a
little thing?
zit. No, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. I saw it. I didn't want to say
Blinging.
nothing.
Did you told me
I'm
you
like,
had that before?
Professor got
Yeah.
a nose
No, I
ring?
can't. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to do that.
I like
Is that,
it.
is
It's a
that
good
brand
look.
new? Is
This
that
is
brand
what
new?
you call a cool grandpa.
Yeah, man.
Like, he's
Yeah.
a badass in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy to hang with, and he has a nose ring. Like, look at
You can't say. You can't say. Are you a
Come
grandpa?
on, you
not-
can't.
I'm not a hater,
You can't
bro.
take that
You can't.
from him.
I'm the best
I've
looking
never-
grandpa in this room.
Listen, I've never
100%.
complimented Junior, and I'm not about to start now. So.
That's,
Yes.
that's true.
As long as you
Never.
don't deny what I say.
Never.
As long as you don't deny what I say.
That's mental jujitsu, bro. He's not tapping.
Okay, we got one last question, then we got a speed
right.
round. So we got one last question
Yeah.
from Roberto Santiago.
Yes, my
So
man.
He did send a bunch of questions, but I'm going to choose the one that I just think is appropriate to end with. With so many BJJ schools out here in Broward, why should someone consider Carlson Gracie Broward County for themselves or their kids?
So we focus more on the service side, and I think I cannot stress that enough. We've said it. Granted, we can hire one of the best people in the world to come train, but that doesn't mean because they're the best in the world, they're going to implement your values. So we're big on values. You know, a lot of people speak about family values and all that stuff, but are they really big on values? Because let me tell you where the value comes in, right? The value comes in where it's COVID, right? You in 2020, you in 2020, it's COVID, your back is against the wall. Your back is against the wall. As the professor, you look up to Junior. As a professor, you know, we look up to Junior like students.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
we
if
do.
you know
Yeah.
if it's his school.
For the purposes of this story, I'll say.
And
yes.
then Junior will be like, you know what? Your family comes first. Like, your family comes first, your household because if you cannot keep a roof over your head, when the storm passes, you ain't coming back. So I'm not going to keep you on other pay when the government shut down.
Yeah, agreed. That's a
You
tough
know?
spot to be in.
So it is. Everybody,
for both.
It's everybody. It's the same issue for the professor. It's the same issue for the students. COVID hit everyone, even
Yeah.
children. You know? So where we going? Where we going? Who are we targeting? Because we not we would love to have everybody, but we're not targeting everybody. We're targeting the minority that jiu-jitsu is not touching.
Yeah.
So if your belief is that you're part of that community or you care about that community, listen, our jiu-jitsu is not watered down. Like, it's at its purest form. So
Yeah.
it's not an issue if you're going to get good jiu-jitsu. I mean, come on, you're training with Big J. What do you mean?
Hey, it sounds like you're planting a lot of
you're
seeds.
training, and then you're training at Carlson Gracie. I mean, Carlson Gracie. Like,
I've heard of him.
like the son of like Carlos Gracie. That's his. I mean, where does it go from there? I could have started BJJ. Listen, the people that are doing jiu-jitsu right now, they learn from the lineage from what we tell them, but they're not people that's like Gracie, Carlson, fight sport. Like,
So was Zizinho previously Carlson Gracie?
So Zizinho was ATT.
Okay.
Under Ricardo Liborio.
Liborio, you did say he got his.
And then when Professor Liborio went to Orlando, he started training at Manny Suarez, Carlson Gracie Boca.
Yeah.
Like great guy. Like I have yet to see him like go somewhere and then not standing on top like this.
I mean,
you know. So So it's not just the jiu-jitsu. It's the principles and the values behind it. I'm aware not everybody gonna train at my school. I'm aware there's other people that are pissed. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. And I'm also aware that there's some people, there's some kids, there's some parents. If we don't introduce them to jiu-jitsu, it's not gonna get to them.
Yeah.
And it needs to get to them because I see what it can do for a community.
So are you saying you said, because you said it a few times and I didn't stop you to ask a question. You said there's some people that are pissed that you opened a school or that you opened a Carlson Gracie school or that you opened a school at all?
A lot of people are pissed because Big J owns a jiu-jitsu school. You have to understand, if you blacklist someone, they're going to fold. They're going to like have their tail in between their leg and run away like a dog, or they're going to just crumple. So when people come at you, they come at you to defeat you. But it's hard to defeat someone that will never stop fighting.
Okay.
So I'm aware. It's not, listen, I'm aware, they are aware, people in the circle are aware. It's not a big enigma, you know? It's not a big secret. But I can care less. Because at the end of the day, we have different purposes. My purpose was never to trample you. My purpose was never to hinder your business. My purpose was to be a better version of me. You cannot, that's why a lot of my students, when there's a competition, like we had a competition that for a new breed, and I had 3 new students that wanted to compete. And I'm like, and that's the page out of Cyborg's book, honestly, because when they were doing the major league, he had an in-house tournament to choose who's going. So I'm like, okay, you want to compete?
Like wrestling practice.
Yeah, I'm like, you want to compete? Absolutely. You being part of this, you don't have to compete. You know, if you want to compete, now this is what I'm going to tell you. For you to compete under Carlson Gracie, we're going to change the training. Now you're going to come to competition training. And then close to the competition, I'm going to have a smart tournament. I'm going to bring some people in on your level to test you, because you're going out there, you're going to represent me. You're not going to represent the 129 you pay. You can go find somebody else's school and compete. Nothing in my contract says you have to compete under Carlson Gracie.
I think a good student appreciates that.
So exactly.
Because I've talked to a lot of people who've been like, oh, I'm competing, and nothing's changed. They're still doing move of the day every day.
That was my thing. I'm a fighter at heart. Like, I go at it.
Yeah.
When I'm in a competition and I lose because I know there's something you're not giving me, I'm going to find it somewhere else. Now, if I find it somewhere else and I'm still paying you, why you don't want me to better myself?
Yeah.
But I don't even have to keep paying you. If I leave like a school and I'm trying another one, I don't have no ties to that school. But sometimes, not respect, because people take that too far. Because sometimes they say respect, I feel like it's control, not out of respect. The best way people will control you, or you got so much ego, or you got to have respect. No, not respect, but out of courtesy, since I can afford it, I'm going to support you because I started with you. But if Joe Schmo BJJ is where I can learn the nitty gritty, and they have big guys that's gonna come at me and try to kill me, because when you go to competition, by the way, 100, that's where they go 100, and the gym is
always
different.
Feels different.
So exactly. So, and this was the thing. Winning came easy, but I always felt a struggle. But when I started training with people that were like pounding me
No rest rolls.
for like 5 days a week, now those training felt like competition, and competition felt like drilling.
Yeah.
Like I remember I went to the state championship, and I posted the video recently, and then one of the guys that I fought, he was like, "Yo, you were bullying me." I'm like, "Wait, what?" I was playing with you. Like I was just having fun. I was just having fun.
That's bad. I see that happen.
Yeah. So when you train the way I was training, now training becomes a competition, and then the competition becomes drilling. So it's easy. That's why when you're looking at those guys on the high level and you're looking at them, they're just having fun. And that's the jiu-jitsu I wanted. It wasn't about disrespecting. It wasn't. How can you be a martial art and you tell someone, "I don't have what you want," but you cannot go over there and have it and take it or learn it? What are you talking about? It's even more retarded when it's your own same team, or I'm learning from your student.
Well, how about flipping the switch and just when somebody comes at you with something like that, like a student, like to me as like a father, like if my kid comes to me with a problem, I don't send him somewhere else. Or if he's looking to somewhere else for that solution, I'd be like, hey, how can I solve this problem for you? Because like I could help you too. There's something here that I could do. It's like, so you don't have to go to Joe Schmo, you know? The only reason you're going to Joe Schmo is because there's big people that'll kill you, then I could get you around people that'll kill you, you know?
Sometimes it's not good to talk too much, right? And I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that. And I think this is something we can definitely either close on or elaborate, right? If you're getting ready for a fight,
Yeah.
and then, what's your name again?
Miguel.
If you're getting ready for a fight, you're my professor, and you say, Jay, I'm going to go drill with Miguel. Miguel going to show me some stuff because I'm getting ready to compete, right? Then why wouldn't I want to go train with Miguel?
There's no reason why you shouldn't.
So I'm like, okay, so I'm not just doing this just I do one competition a year. Yo, I was jumping in a flight every 2 weeks to compete.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time the year closed out, I was number one. So I was competing heavy. So I'm like, those guys over there, they got what I want. It's the same school. I'm going to go train over there. Like, that shouldn't be a problem. It's retarded. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my thing on that.
Yeah.
If you going to go train with Miguel because he got what you want and you're competing, I'm not saying what you're teaching me, I don't want it. I just want more. Can I want more?
Diversity. You want more diversity?
Why wouldn't I want that?
Yeah.
You
Totally
know?
cool with that.
I just don't want to get catch on something because at the end of the day, whatever happened where I either win or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm promoting you, and I'm promoting you for free.
Yeah.
I'm paying to promote you. So even if I want to train at like 100 school, as long as it's not a school where you don't know, like, hey, I'm going to try to school. Yeah, go ahead, go. But don't tell me go ahead and go, and then you go behind my back like, who you think he is?
Yeah.
Like, it's not needed. It's martial art. Martial art is a refuge. It's a sanctuary.
Some people seek knowledge, man.
We'll leave it on that one. We have a couple other questions. I got a little swag bag for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Some T-shirts. There's
Appreciate
a
you,
T-shirt.
Big J.
Rash
Appreciate you
guard,
guys.
coffee mug in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Your backpack. Appreciate you coming out.
Appreciate it.
We got a little speed round that we're going to do here with you. We do these
Speed round.
little speed
Quick
round.
question.
I know.
We're going to we'll let you. We'll just,
I like
Reggae
that.
horn. Move it along.
That's fun.
Whatever it is.
speed round. Gi or no gi? Preference.
I like both, but no gi. I'm more comfortable in no gi.
Go to sub. What's your favorite submission?
Straight arm bar.
Take down or pull guard?
Take down. I like taking down, but I'm falling in love with pull guard. But take down, that's my go-to.
Favorite takedown?
Single leg.
Okay. Favorite? Do you watch like Flow Grappling? Are
Yes.
you like a fan?
Yes.
Favorite competitor?
I love Ali, and
Okay.
it's not as much as just winning stuff, but I love his mentality. Don't get me wrong, like Cyborg is my dude, Like, I mean, I cannot stress that enough. You guys heard it, but I love Ali. I love Ali a lot. I love his style, and I love his mindset. I got to sit down and speak to him when he came to visit us, and the guy is great, man.
Respect.
Toughest match ever.
Toughest match ever. Whoa, that's a...
In training or in competition?
I got one
Is that
now.
competition or training? Competition.
No, competition training. Do you have anything that stands out? But I was going to throw that in there. Toughest training partner you've ever had. So either or.
Man, it's not fair because I've trained with some of the best. I've trained with Cyborg. I've trained with Victor Doria. I've trained with Ali.
Toughest one. Pick one. Go ahead. Pick one.
Come on,
Who's
man.
toughest guy?
The tank. Cyborg. You know that.
Okay.
Come on, man. The guy is built like a warhead. Like you know, it's a brick. He's a brick house.
Other than achieving the rank of black belt, what is your ultimate goal in the world of jiu-jitsu?
My community, man.
Nice.
Like, I see what jiu-jitsu is doing, and I don't want us to miss it. That's the purpose, the goal for me.
What do you miss? What you don't want us to miss? What?
No, my community, like
your community. Oh, you don't want your community to miss.
African Americans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah, especially, you know, like the younger generation.
What would you be doing if you had not found martial arts?
Honestly, I'll probably be divorced now. Honestly, because so this is the thing about me, right? I'm not gonna bother you. I'm not not going to poke at you. But if you come for me, you're gonna find something. Jiu-jitsu taught me that, you know, sometimes you just have to give people passes. Certain things you will say, just even like certain situation, like when you get in a certain position, you have to figure it out. While you're there, like you have to get out.
It's an ego check.
You know? So that's another thing.
Yeah.
You know? So
For sure.
Honestly, I've accomplished a lot that took patience and humility. Though my parents try to instill that in me a lot, being a grown-ass man, getting your butt kicked by a little kid, it humbles you in a way.
For sure.
You choose if you're going to take it and evolve, improve, or if you're going to take with your ego and be stupid about it.
Yeah.
So I choose to evolve.
Which applies to situations out in the real world.
Absolutely.
Are you going to deal with
Shout
that
out
person
to little
cutting you off
Absolutely. So-
with more
so-
rage, or are you just
Yeah.
going to let them go? Right?
For sure.
No, there's a lot of things that I've accomplished that I think that I wouldn't have. Like, I'm more calm with certain things. Even when it comes with certain employees. Like, employees, like, they threat you all the time. And now I just laugh. Like, you just don't know who you're talking to. But I can do to you, you know. But, yeah, honestly, I don't think I will be where I'm at right now. I mean, I'll be successful, but not here. And also, wanting to push this the way I'm pushing it, I don't think it would have been the same thing. So, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
In a ditch full of money.
Somewhere.
What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you in competition or on the mats in the gym?
Craziest thing.
Like you farted or you shit your pants or something.
I love that you went there.
We go right to the oil
Yeah.
checks and shitting on yourself.
You know, the funny thing is,
Some bubble gum falls out of their shorts.
So I fought in my first fight in purple belt. That was when I was training with Professor Zinzinho. When I fought at the state championship, I had hemorrhoid, and they were like,
You're on fire.
they were like the day before.
No pulling
I
guard.
never had that before. And the day before, that's when that happened. And my wife was like, what are you doing? I'm like, yo, I already signed up. I'm in this warehouse training with all these guys. You know, like, I'm already getting blacklisted, people talking shit about me. So I'm not just going to bend over and take it. I'm like, listen, I'm going to go fight. And I went and I did my thing. Granted, that night I didn't sleep, but that was the most painful experience.
Us.
The training with the
No,
headbutt,
not
or
training.
just
Fighting with it.
Fighting
Fighting with it. Like,
Yeah.
man, I can even believe that I'm saying that on.
That's raw,
You
Jay.
did.
That's raw, brother.
But you-
we're
but
not
you
cutting it
asked.
out. We're not cutting it out. Okay.
No, I don't
You were
want you
honest.
to.
I appreciate the honesty.
But you know what's funny? These are the things that people need to hear.
Yeah.
Like jiu-jitsu is a normal thing. You don't need to be a super nothing.
That's not an adversity most people talk about, but it's a tough one
But listen,
for sure.
some people can function with that. Now you're gonna go and compete.
Yeah.
Like some, you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
now you're gonna. Some people they can sit, they can lay, like they're miserable.
Yeah.
But now I'm competing in that state. No medication, nothing, like no substance, like.
I get it.
But the funny part is, the minute I stepped on the mat and the adrenaline kicked in,
Goes away.
it wasn't there, man. I felt it after. I was like, "You stupid bastard!
That's
What were you
probably
thinking?"
Donut.
That's the
Yeah, that's
most
pretty
unexpected
crazy.
answer to that question.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But raw.
That way,
Yeah.
Literally,
Keep it raw.
literally, and figuratively. Literally and figuratively.
Pain in the ass. Yeah.
What's the biggest regret as it relates to jiu-jitsu? Do you have any?
I wish I started with Cyborg. I wish I never met Toko. I would have been further. I'm far now, but I wish I started with Cyborg, or maybe even Wagner. I just certain thing in the relationship kind of like left a bitter taste, and not even for the person, but for the art itself. Because when you're a professor or a master, even a coach at purple belt, you're an ambassador now. Mm-hmm. So the things that you do, like no one takes them lightly. You have people that's not gonna speak. You have people that's just gonna just take it. I'm not part of that breed. I will speak up. Regardless if you like it or not, I will speak up. So I wish I started with Fire Sport, and I wish I started years ago.
Yeah, man.
Because from what I'm doing now, I'm sitting here looking at certain kids that's training there. I'm like, man, you guys should take that serious. Like, what you guys can accomplish with this, And there's a lot of them that do. There's also a lot of them that don't. And there's a lot of them that are not consistent.
It might come around.
Yeah. So for me to be consistent at this age and what I've accomplished, I wish I started earlier, and I wish I really started there.
All right.
Okay. Last question.
The best question.
Most important
Most
one.
important question.
Most important question.
This is big. Are you ready?
I don't know.
You need another
The
drink?
way-
Do you need another drink?
Go for it.
The way you guys are going, I mean, I'm thinking all those questions were like very good questions. But what you got?
Do you or do you not wash your belt?
I don't wash my belt.
Does your wife wash your belt?
My wife.
Yes.
My wife.
That's not fair, bro.
My wife don't touch my belt.
Damn.
However, the belt that I train is not the belt I compete. The belt that I train in the gym is not the belt that I go visit the gyms. I have more than one belt, but I do not wash my belt. I don't.
I appreciate you
And
for
then
being
and then
sanitary.
also, I don't know what you guys are doing on the mat that make you feel like your belt also filthy. Like most of the time, professor, when we start training, the belt end up on the side. If you're going like you're not gonna have your belt. And if you do have your belt and you're going, then you're gonna get caught in like 3 seconds. So there's no time for my belt to how dirty does your belt get?
Ask him.
It's the other
No,
people,
no.
bro.
The question
My
is
belt's
no. The question shouldn't be do I wash my belt. The question should be how dirty does your belt get?
I like the way you turn that around on me.
Like I'm just saying.
After you get massacred.
Does your belt get that bad?
How dirty is your belt after you got massacred?
I mean,
On the mat.
I've went through like shark tanks, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is when you're in a shark tank, you get to one point, you just toss it.
Yeah.
You just put it back in a plastic sleeve, man.
I don't
Like
know
it's brand
what all
new.
that.
So it didn't even
But-
get any use.
Sometimes I'm washing mine. Sometimes I'm washing mine hoping that it turns white again.
So are we
It goes that
advocating
bad.
for like washing belts?
I wash my belt after every training, almost every training.
You do?
Yeah,
I
almost
do.
every
I-
time.
Man, I would love
Yeah.
to train with you because I want to see
Hey,
what
that
you're
sounds like an
doing.
invite.
I smell.
That sounds like we're recording that one.
April
Yeah.
fresh every time.
I mean, I get it, but the belt
We're recording that for
The belt
Jiu-Jitsu
gets
Dummies.
dirty. The belt gets
Tactical.
sweat on it.
Tactical.
Sometimes somebody's bleeding. You get blood on it. Doesn't
on your
always
belt.
come off. Doesn't
That's
always
like
come off.
That's like a
on the
small
mat.
portion of your body.
It's on the mat. But again,
It is on the mat.
Gets dirty.
To you.
It gets sweaty.
I get it.
To you.
Your belt gets
You know
sweaty.
what? 2 inches on. If
Hey.
you feel like washing your belt, wash your belt.
Good answer.
Thank
To
you.
each his own.
I'll put it to you like this. If my belt doesn't smell and it doesn't hinder my partner, I'm not going to wash my belt.
Have you ever washed your belt? Ever thrown it in a wash?
Oh, come on, man. Out there.
I
just
that's
love
too
it.
far.
Wait for it.
That's a rabbit hole. You don't have to answer
I
that.
just
Plead the
I
fifth
just
on
said-
that.
One,
Plead the
two,
fifth. You
One,
don't
two,
have to
three,
answer that.
four,
It's the trap.
Wait. I just said absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
All right.
Because my
hold on,
belts
here-
don't get that dirty. I don't know
here-
what you guys are doing. Now,
There-
if you tell me, do you wash your rash guard?
Of course.
Or your gi? Yeah. But my
You're loving this.
Listen,
He's loving
my
it.
Johnny
knee
Cochran
brace.
over here
He's
is trying to
on my
get
knee
you.
brace.
He's trying to trap you in
He's
these
loving
questions.
I mean,
that's
I don't
okay.
know.
Listen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you can say to
Listen,
make me wash my
my-
belt.
My heart
if
hurts
it's not
a little
dirty,
bit.
Dude,
My
do I
heart
need-
hurts a little
maybe
bit.
I'm not training hard enough,
Maybe.
Professor.
I don't know.
Maybe I should train harder.
Maybe you should train with
heart
Milton a
hurts
little bit.
Yeah.
Do some evening drills.
Show me what you do. That way, I want my belt to get dirty to the point where I want to
clean
wash
it.
my belt.
When everybody leaves at
I
night,
mean, you guys
I
can
take
tell
my
I'm a
belt
clean
and
dude,
clean the mat.
right?
I take my belt and clean the mat.
Jay, you're still at this Walmart Plaza?
Yes,
All right,
we are.
so we're going to
Yes,
set
we
something
are.
up with Bo and for all our listeners where Milton is going to grapple with Big J over here. Here's the address because we want to see why Milton has to wash his belt. 7934 West McNabb Road in North Lauderdale.
Yes,
All right,
that's
that
us.
zip code is 33068.
Yes, that's us.
Yeah.
I'll
Go
visit
check
Mr.
out
I'll visit
Carlson
Mr.
Gracie,
Mike.
Broward County over there.
Yes.
Mr. Mike.
I'll let
Mike, there
Mike
you go.
know.
Just want to know.
Big J,
Ace or Bass?
Yes.
even though you don't wash your belt, I very much appreciate you coming out today,
Thanks for having
sitting
me.
down with us, telling us your story. Definitely love to have you back. I know we were trying to get Zizinho in with you.
I know.
I love these round tables. Come back, bring him, bring someone,
Looking
bring
forward
somebody
to
in,
it.
and because Junior's retired, so I don't think he's coming back anymore. But we'll
came back
have
for you, Big J.
Farewell tour.
Came back.
I can't
Let's
even
see.
complain.
Just bear with us. We're going to wrap it up. I'm just going to read
Yes.
I'm going to go through a little bit of housekeeping here.
Alrighty.
Shout out to our Patreon podcast patrons, including our newest gym sponsors, Carlson Gracie Winter Haven in Winter Haven, Florida, cgwinterhaven.com, at Carlson Gracie _Winter Haven on Instagram. We also have, we did it with Roberto. I don't know if you've heard us.
Great
Give me a
guy.
shout out.
Great
Carlson
guy.
Gracie, Broward County in North Lauderdale. Junior just read you the address. Carlson Gracie, BrowardCounty.com. And on Instagram, you can find them at Carlson Gracie, Broward County. All right. John Way Martial Arts in Plantation, Florida. JohnWayMartialArts.com and at John Way Martial Arts on Instagram. All right. Our podcast patrons also include Robert Walker, Frank House, Wolsey Rivera, Boa Athletics. You can check them out at BOA_athletics. Michael Pixley Jr., Jason Smiley, Britt Tavar, James Fisher, CJ Carroll, Mission 22, another great veteran organization, Chuck Reddoor, and of course, Roberto Santiago. Thank you for putting this together for us,
Yes,
Roberto. Appreciate you.
definitely.
If you'd like to support the show, visit patreon.com/Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. Join and you're automatically entered to win. You're put into a raffle with our listener questions, people who submit their listener questions, all of our podcast patrons, anybody whose question we read on the air. We do a $100 Jiu-Jitsu swag giveaway every month. So it's either like Fight Back CBD, a gift card to our podcast store. We give away a lot of flow and roll gis. So appreciate your support. But again, if you want to be automatically entered, go to patreon.com/Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. I have no clue what you're doing right now. Okay.
I love that.
Check out at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies for all the ways to watch, listen, support, donate to our scholarship program that we mentioned before. We very much appreciate all the support and all the help. Check out our podcast store at jujitsudummies.shop. You get 15% off with code JJD. Got my new
Hey,
Jiu-Jitsu Mike shirt on, the one that we had.
that's Mr. Mike.
Yeah, that
friend
guy
do.
looked familiar.
It's Mr. Mike.
That guy in the shirt kind of looked familiar.
Take that.
Now that I think about it, it looks a little bit like Cyborg, doesn't it? Right? No, we didn't. That was not on purpose. We have tees, ranked rash guards, face shields, backpacks, coffee mugs, free shipping on orders over $50. All right. We mentioned We Defy before. Thank you again for everything you do for the veteran community.
Yes.
Very much appreciate you. Fight Back CBD. Get 20% off your CBD order at fightbackcbd.com with code JJD. They've got the roll-on CBD, They got the 2 bath bombs in there.
Yeah,
2
they're
bath
there.
bombs. I'm going to be taking this nighttime, this guy home with me right here.
That's good stuff right there.
Right here, the full spec night, 600 milligram. This has the melatonin in it. I've used this before.
You put it under your
Great
tongue?
to help,
Yeah.
Sublingual, and right, is that what they say? Sublingual.
Yep.
And then this guy helps me sleep. I've been missing him.
Religious.
All right, guys.
With
You
it.
got anything, man?
No, man.
Give me your IG.
My IG's MLJ RICO, MLJ Rico. That's my handle.
J Vega Jr. spelled out JUNIOR.
Big J _ BJJ.
And we mentioned the Instagram for the gym
Yes,
as well.
Carlson Gracie.
Hey, you
Broward
know what? I
County.
do got one thing to ask. How good at jiu-jitsu do you have to get to where you can add the _ BJJ to your Instagram handle?
Maybe a word title.
There you go.
I just want to know.
I
Should
think I
incorporate
did that.
I was
BJJ
just
into your name.
talking smack.
Unless
I think I did it around.
fuck it, for real. Yo.
You got like J Vega.
Yeah,
Jr.
mine's-
Yeah.
You know what? So, I mean, it was just my name. And then I started
Yeah.
training more. And then I was an athlete. I'm like, hey, Cyborg guy, Cyborg BJJ. Hey, I'm BJJ.
It's a
Why
trend.
not? Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
You can
fighting.
find me at Uncle Milty BJJ.
Purple belt. A purple belt. I think that's where it's
on
at.
IG.
Did you set him up for that?
I think that's where it's at.
I think he saw. I think he looked at the
I'm a blue belt. I don't think that
Son
far
of a
ahead. I don't think that far ahead at all.
Son of a bitch. Listen, thank you again. Thank you guys.
Great job.
Thanks for having
me.
Jay,
Really
thank you so much.
appreciate it.
Appreciate
Pleasure.
you coming out,
Yeah,
Miguel.
man.
Nice seeing you again,
Thank you for
Professor.
watching and listening, everybody. Oh, we're over here. Thank you for watching and listening. Stay safe, everybody. Oos.
Hey, I want you to ask
Guys.
Jason if that roll-on will work for hemorrhoids.
Man, I feel like